Welcome back to Shonen Pulse. This is episode 25. I'm your host Yato, and I'm joined with Knox,
Yes, sir.
my only co-host today, because Traffy's sick, a little on the ill side. So it's the Just Us League, the dynamic duo, the terrible 2-0, whatever you want to call us for today. But anyway, as usual, we got a bunch of cool, good manga and stuff. One of those manga is leaving us, thank God. But
We're free.
anyway, yeah, we're free. Chains are broken. There's gonna be timestamps down below if you want to skip segments for stuff that you ain't following. You should be following everything except the one that we're dropping. Everyone's dropping it. Jump's dropping it. We're dropping it. You're dropping it. Anyway, yeah. So as usual, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, curb stomp the comment section, share this video with a friend if you know anybody that's listening or reading any of the things that we talk about and they're not listening to us, being dweebs or whatever. Um, yeah, if you're, looking forward to us being on any other platforms like Spotify or anything like that, help us hit that Thowie. We're at like 880 subscribers, and I'll just make up a number and say that only like 1% of the people that listen to us are subscribed. So help us out, man. Stop being a weirdo. Hit that subscribe button, and I guess we'll just jump right into it. So, started with Chainsaw Man Chapter 200, Toxic Couple. What's your thoughts, bro?
The big two huncho, G. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a milestone chapter. And it was actually like really good because well, I mean, one, like, did this fake chainsaw man really just parry a fucking bang, bro?
yeah. His parry level's different, and like that shit bounced off the building. Like he flicked that shit, it hit the building like on the left, I guess, and then bounced to the one on the right. So like that shit's got some force to it.
Yeah, he just like turned that shit into like a basketball missile.
Yeah, he
How the
kind of
fuck
different.
did he do that? Like, what's up with it's like that fleshy cape or whatever.
Yeah, I guess
That shit's
so.
got properties. That shit's got like
Maybe it's
uh
some sort of like justice thing, like it denies things that because he's related to the Justice Devil. He's like infused with Justice Devil bullshit. So maybe it's some sort of like cloak of righteousness. Nothing, non-justicey can fucking penetrate my cloak type shit.
yo, he's just like wearing the innards of Juiz from Undead Unluck.
Yeah,
He's like wearing her
exactly. Yeah.
guts.
Yeah, it's like attacking the cloak is just like, nope, that is not a justifiable fucking attack or some shit. You're just like fucking mirror force, just magic cylinder just breaks your whole fucking your board in half for
Not
attacking or some
mirror
shit.
force, yo. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, all your attack monsters are now destroyed. But yeah, it was I was surprised to see him here so soon because like looking at last chapter, we ain't gonna talk about it because that was in the past and whatever. But we might can glance over it. But just looking at how the last chapter ended, I don't think I was really expecting to jump into Asa slash Yoru and Denji, but dude arrives here. Like it's like okay, when you look at the way one chapter ends, it's like okay, so I'm not really uh, you don't really expect one thing, and then like when you get that thing, so like in the case where we saw like Death Devil and stuff, it's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Maybe we'll see more of like the Death Devil's plan, and instead we jump to Denji, and it's like, oh, okay, so I guess we won't see the stuff that the other guys are doing for a while, and instead like that immediately happens, like the Denji plot, and then fucking fake Chainsaw Man immediately appears. Like, oh, we're not wasting no time. We're just jumping right into whatever the fuck's supposed to happen.
Right. So she sicked him on Denji immediately. For what?
Yeah. So just to, I guess, gloss over it, my idea was for like the Death Devil when she tells them to like go and raise hell or whatever. It's like similar to the end of Chainsaw Man Part One, where it was like I think Makima. Um, I can't remember exactly, but there was something going on where like people were not as afraid of Chainsaw Man as they normally would have been, so it was making Chainsaw Man weaker. So I think it's kind of like the reverse here. So like the Death Devil's plan is to probably make everyone afraid of Famine and Chainsaw Man more than they're afraid of like the Death Devil and the prophecy, kind of to like overpower it and make it so that the whole Death Devil thing doesn't happen, maybe, or
Oh,
maybe it's so
sure.
that like they can be strong enough to like I don't know, fucking evaporate her for good or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just something to overpower the whole like prophecy because she was saying that like yeah, even if I did die, like another Death Devil might come that doesn't fuck with humanity like I do. So I got a plan, and yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to what Makima had going on. So
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. I think it's
yeah,
crazy if we are kind of touching back on No, that was this chapter actually, where Asa has kind of like gone through like a really interesting like character situation where she's kind of like come to terms with like the kind of person that she is now after Yoru's kind of been inhabiting her body for a while. She's kind of like there's a little bit of introspection here, I want to say, inside of like the things that they've kind of done since they've been sharing this body or whatever. She kind of sees herself as like she's like whatever, I'm like a toxic woman now, so it doesn't really matter like if I'm doing, unhealthy, weird, dangerous, not good things because like I kind of suck anyway. And it's like
Yeah,
I don't know if we've like gotten writing like this for Asa yet. So it just
kind of
feels like
like
an interesting like direction for her character right now.
yeah, it's like she's no longer like she's being honest with herself. Like she's no longer like trying to do what like society would deem the right thing or whatever. She's not like worried about shit. She knows she can't like change Yoru or whatever. So it's just like, yeah, it is what it is, this situation or whatever. So it's just like I piss people off, and it is. I was always going through hell or whatever, and she says turns out they were just not trying to think about. I don't know. I feel like she's just being more honest about with herself now.
Yeah, she's kind of like it. Whenever I see stuff like this with characters in certain stories, I can't help but think about like Carl Jung and the shadow and like integrating the shadow into like the conscious ego and whatnot is like what you kind of it's almost like on like the road to like self actualization almost to where all of the repressed like traits that you think aren't really good for the society that you've come to know kind of get like pushed into the background, into your subconscious or into your unconscious because you don't want people to know these kind of things about you or that
Yeah.
you're into certain things or that you have certain like qualities that are born from whatever you go through when you're younger that like take the form of like this shadowy like presence that you kind of want to hide from consciously. And a really big part of Jungian psychology, like we've talked about before on the show, is kind of coming to terms with that and integrating it into like your conscious ego so that it doesn't like kind of like hijack your body in like moments of like weakness or stress or duress or whatever and get projected onto others. It feels like Asa and Yoru, or whenever there's a situation where it's like a demon inside of the body of like a high schooler, like we see like all the time in these kind of stories. It always
Mm.
feels like it's kind of like a nod to that area of psychology or philosophy and whatnot. So it's just like cool to like see in any story that it shows up in, if that is the case here, or if that is the inspiration for Asa and Yoru's dynamic or whatever.
Yeah, instead of trying to fight whatever Yoru's got going on, she's just embracing it like this. This is who I am now, and I just like you told me, Denji, I should just only do fun things and don't think about the bullshit. So it's interesting to see her character now, living like that, and they're riding around blowing heads off of fucking chainsaw dudes, having a
Yeah,
good old time.
and we've talked about it before about how like as time has kind of like passed while Yoru and Asa are kind of sharing the same body, we've had questions like, yo, is like Yoru becoming like more human? Is Yoru becoming like more like Asa over time? And then now we have this like other side of the coin where it kind of seems like Asa is becoming closer to Yoru in like a certain way where she's just like, yo, normally they're like arguing about like what's good, what's not, what should we do this, should we not do this, but now Asa's like in control, just like randomly shooting you know devil projectiles into the distance and like blowing other people's heads off, like. And it's like, well, no, because Yoru's kind of like in the driver's
At
seat
the
here.
at the
Yeah,
end, but in the beginning, it does seem like it's Asa
yeah. Like really
when she's
interesting.
shooting the sunset. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like after the whole fight and stuff with like when they fought when Yoru fought Chainsaw Man and fired the fucking big bullet at him, and then they went into the aging devil's world. It's like she realized she can't change Yoru. It's like this is a devil, and
yeah,
I thought we could understand each other and I could like maybe tame her, but it's like she gave up, and it's like she's letting go of the leash
yeah.
to let her run around and do whatever she wants and not letting it bother her anymore. As long as she gets to have fun and eat good food and I guess have a boyfriend or something.
Yeah, and not only like that, not only just like realizing that she can't change Yoru and is kind of just like letting, Yoru do like whatever, she's also kind of like coming to terms with, herself in regards to like, it's like, yo, I can't just be you know, on the other side of this consciousness, like constantly trying to spew these platitudes and saying like, no, we got to do the right thing. We're not evil. You know, don't do this. She's just like, fuck it, man. Like, I'm kind of like with this shit now too, to a certain degree. Like, she's not obviously not as like maniacal and homicidal as Yoru is, at least not yet, or whatever. But she's less on the side of like, yo, I'm the good one, you're the bad one. I got to try to talk sense into you, and more along the lines of like, okay, I kind of suck too, so like, fuck it. And it's like, damn,
Yeah.
it's an interesting character evolution to kind of like watch over time.
I do wonder though, because like there was the point a couple chapters ago where Yoru told Denji that like she'll have sex with him if he kills the Death Devil, and it's like this is the direct follow up to that. Like that happened, and then we saw the actual Death Devil stuff, and then we're back here, and it's like we didn't get to see Yoru like say like, hey, I'm not actually gonna do that, or like, you know, we should go on an actual date first or something. They just kind of jumped into eating fucking melon buns and shooting at the sunset. So it's like, yeah, I would have liked to see how that conversation continued with Asa getting back in control. Like, yo, that's it's kind of wild. I didn't agree to that shit, or like, you know, I don't know, so a blush or something like showing that maybe she does like him. But here, she just kind of looks, you know, at times dead inside, and other times it's like, yep, I just one foot in front of the other. Life is what it is.
Right.
But
We got some
yeah,
interesting choreography in this fight too between the two chainsaw men. Like, he runs up on him and he's like, hey, should the solitary warrior from hell be flirting with a girl? And he's like, that's not my backstory, nigga. And then like pulls the shit. And then he kind of like, the fake chainsaw man kind of like swings at him, it looks like. He's like halfway partially transformed. He's got like a little bit of the chainsaw coming out of his forehead. I wonder if he like parried, you know, the haymaker or whatever with his forehead chainsaw, or did he dodge it? I can't really tell on the top of this panel on page 13, but whether he like dodged it or parried it with his head chainsaw mid transformation, that's just a cool panel there. And then it seems like Denji kind of, you know, shoves his chainsaw fist like into the ground to propel him upwards. That seems like a weird move, because like now all of a sudden he's behind him, about to hit him with the Louis Vuitton leg drop or whatever the fuck that's whatever that's
yeah,
readying in that bottom left panel or whatever. But then, you know, it goes into this like, boom, we kind of both slashed at each other, and now we're on the other sides of each other. Kind of reminded me of like, you know, samurai fights where
yeah.
they kind of like both load their shit and then slash, and then they're like their backs are to each other, and then like one of them explodes because they got cut or whatever.
Yeah,
It kind of
yeah.
reminded me of that. I was like, oh shit, this is dope.
His body separates into fourths. It's like, how did he cut that nigga into four pieces that quick? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I was
shit.
confused about this choreography. Like, it looks cool, but just yeah, like you said, I can't tell if he's parrying with the fucking forehead chainsaw or whatever. And then I'm like, with this chainsaw on the ground, I was like, is he like stomping, like using it to like throw himself in the air or
Yeah,
something,
is that a
or
foot
just
chainsaw? Because we know he'd be doing that shit too.
yeah?
It's
I could not tell what that
Yeah,
is.
it's just interesting that it shows a chainsaw go into the ground, and then the fake chainsaw man kind of reacts like, oh, and then like the next panel is Denji's behind him, looking like he's readying like a drop kick or some shit. But then no, it's actually just arm attacks colliding and fake chainsaw man losing the exchange. So it's just like,
Yeah,
I wonder, like, God, I want to see that in animated or some
this
shit.
this is one that needs to be animated, because otherwise I just can't. There's no way I can confidently say like what this is.
Yeah.
It's like, how is he behind him? Like, did he fucking chainsaw in the ground and pop up like a mole or something? Like,
Oh
uh,
shit! I didn't even think
did
about that.
did he just fucking double hand dig like fucking Knuckles from Sonic? Like
Oh
Knuckles, you
shit!
kidding me? He just took both his hands and drilled on the ground and popped up. I don't think so, but like I feel like we would have saw like a full body, or at least like a torso shot of him digging down or something. But
Right,
I don't know,
right.
just these angles and stuff don't really make sense. Like, how is he behind him? And then next page, I guess, like you said, it's just a classic fucking samurai battle thing. But just all of this looks weird. I mean, it's cool, but
Yeah.
I do like that.
Hard to
Like,
follow.
yeah, I do like on 14 when the slash happens. There's the bzz,
Yeah.
sound effect is like it's like in front of Dingy, but then on the bottom panel, it's like behind the other Chainsaw Man. I
Right.
guess like it's cool
Yeah.
positioning and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the choreography is definitely hard to follow here.
Yeah. But then he
So I
slices
wonder.
his arm off and he's like, you know, you just fucked up, right? And it's like, yo, why are you saying that?
Yeah, I wonder if it's like not related to this is just like, are you aware that you've been fucking up? Like, is
Yeah.
are you aware of the mistake you've made? It just it feels like he just knocked on his door or some shit. Not like they haven't been fighting. It's just like you know you like left the fucking the water on at the office or something. Like it just it feels like something weird. Like the
Yeah,
when you
like
go
it's
back to
not
work.
related to his arm getting chopped off specifically.
Yeah. It's like he's gonna tell him that like the entire office building is flooded because he left the sink on or something in the break room. It's like, nigga, what? What are you talking about? Next chapter I definitely feel like he's gonna say something related to like the prophecy or something like because you didn't, take action when needed or something, the death devil now made me their pawn or something, and I'm being forced to do stuff or whatever to make the fear of you stronger or something. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I don't know. Chainsaw Man Part Two, it definitely needs a reread, but there's definitely been a lot of things that just it's like what's really happening.
Right.
It's been harder to follow plot wise than part one,
Definitely.
um, but like I don't think it's impossible. Just gotta go and reread. But like a lot of stuff like stuff like the colors, like when they were talking about the black Chainsaw Man and the red Chainsaw Man, it's like looking at a comic that's in black and white. You can't tell that. I never knew that there was a different color. Like I still don't remember which one Dingy is. I'm guessing the black one. So it's like this guy, the red one. I don't know. It's some stuff that's like hard to follow just reading it weekly or whatever, and
Maybe what makes this guy the red one is the flesh cape.
maybe. I mean,
The gutsy cape. That's probably like red.
their skulls are different colors.
Oh, true. Weren't they talking about the heads of the Chainsaw Man, and that's what like
That's
kind of
I
explains
think
the
that's what
color
I
of
was
them?
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like back when anytime we see Denji like in chainsaw form, like in show or like in like a color page, his head is like red. So it's like I don't know. So this is one that we're just gonna have to see animated to get the full understanding or do a reread. But I'm vibing with it. Since we're 200 chapters in, and I think now what officially like 5 to 10 chapters beyond the point where part one ended or whatever, and the plot lines are definitely seeming to come together similar to the end of part one. So I think we might be nearing the end here.
Yeah.
So
Same Z's.
yeah, I'm here to see whatever happens. I know there was some points in Chainsaw Man where people weren't really feeling it, and I mean I like it. I won't say it's my favorite. It's dropped a few slots, but these last like 3 or 4 chapters have definitely been more interesting than most that I can remember for part two for a while. But I'm here to see what happens. It's not bad, and it's definitely not the worst thing that we talk about. Yeah, so I don't.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
here till it ends or whatever, however it goes.
So
But I
the
think I'm
wheels
spent
fall
on this
off,
one.
baby.
Yeah, you got anything else for 200?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's Chainsaw Man chapter 200, Toxic Couple. Now jumping into Centuria chapter 49, Grave Robber Helm, and I like the chapter. I personally think I gotta see how the fight goes a little more, but I think personally I might be a little spent on Arcos and water powers, but I like Helm. I like her what she's about.
Yeah, I knew you
She's
would.
yeah, this is a good chapter for me. Um, I like what she's talking about. I like how she's looking.
I like how she
But
thinks, how she
yeah, I
looks,
like
how
how
she
she.
feels.
Yeah. Well, that last one, I ain't got there yet, but I wanna know. But something that I thought was real interesting, just off the beaten path here, was that like when Elstree is praising her or whatever, she seems proud of herself, and she's happy to be recognized for being strong, and she's like, you're ranked among the Iris, the strongest gifted ones in the palace. And so I had two thoughts about this. First, I was just actually the next panel. I'm the lowest of the seven of us, and it just feels weird to me to like be proud and have her be like the weakest. It's like, yeah, I'm super strong, but like I'm actually the weakest of them. So it's like this. I don't know. This it felt weird that
She's just
she's like
happy to
so
be on the
proud or
team.
whatever. I guess so, but also like it kind of felt like this page existed to tell us about the iris and to let us know that there are like seven elite like stronger people. So it's like kind of I don't know what the word I can't remember what the word is. Not like show not tell, but just like they kind of like wave that in there, like oh yeah, by the way, bada boom, we got six more like incredibly strong niggas that you got to meet, and they're known as the fucking Iris faction, and this
Yeah,
chick
I
is
know exactly
yeah
what you're saying right now. It
yeah.
definitely feels like it was information like specifically for the audience because the author knows
Yeah,
that we're reading it and it doesn't really feel like it's like organic information that like these two would be talking about with each other in a moment like this because like
yeah,
they both obviously already know this about each other or
right,
about
right.
Helm or whatever, so they're just like rehashing it because they know that, you know, our eyes are looking at it, so it makes it feel like the information isn't being like delivered as organically as it could, I guess.
I think the only thing that like saves it, I guess, is kind of like how it gives off that like Elstree is like super glazing. Like, man, you're the greatest rapper alive, and it's like Lil Wayne smiling like nigga I know or whatever. Like when you tell her that, it's like it kind of gives off that kind of vibe. She's like super glazing. You're super strong. I paid. She's like, yeah. By the way, like doing this spell it costs more than like a country's worth of money and fucking okay yeah fuck it I'll give up my body type shit and it just feels weird
Yeah, the
also like
information that Helm gives us about how her powers work, like, feels organically delivered because maybe Elstree didn't know all of the conditions and like, you
yeah
know, what it means for her to use this power. So like that feels fine, but then yeah, like specifically that line of dialogue in the exchange where that she's talking about you're among the Iris, the strongest gifted ones in the palace. She says, yeah, and I'm the lowest of the seven of us. It's like that information like probably both already knew. So it's like
yeah
why are you rehashing that when it's just you two in this room?
that feels like one of those things where like the author is like trying to make sure that like yeah there's more coming kind of like I feel like that's the type of move you see when a story might be in danger of getting axed and it's like oh wow these guys the threats or whatever that we're like currently reading are not exciting or like
Yeah,
dangerous enough so it's like let's slap on the fact that like the character that we're currently dealing with is the weakest of like a fucking a faction like the Akatsuki or the
right.
fucking Phantom Troop or something like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the weakest person. So like,
Yeah.
I bet you can't wait to see what the stronger niggas are like.
Exactly. Like it definitely
Yeah,
feels like wonky, like dialogue in the way that it's delivered, but I'm excited about it because I love Centuria and
yeah,
like any kind of information that lets me know that we're, you know, not very close to the end or whatever, or that the story, you know, has kind of been extended because of this information
yeah.
is really exciting to me. So,
So something else. Just back to the start. Like I don't remember Arcos's death. I feel like he got his head ripped off.
he
Like I
did.
think Julian took his head off, but his body he didn't. I don't think Julian like punched a hole through his stomach. So like I wonder if this is the same body or if she said I can't remember. I'm trying to flip through and see if she said like she just put his head and fucking skills or if this is actually his complete body that was redone because I don't remember him I mean his body was made of, water so like I don't feel
Right.
like he shouldn't have like a fucking
Well,
body
his body
scar like
wasn't
that.
made of water because that's lacrima. He just
Oh
like
yeah
yeah,
true he
he
just
just
controlled the
controls the
water.
water. So like any kind of wound that he would take that would like separate a limb or something, he could reattach it because of the control over his own blood that he has from his powers being able to manipulate liquid or water or whatever.
Okay,
So he was kind of like
just
sewing himself back together, you know, from any kind of fatal wounds that he was getting and like forcing the circulation to continue inside of himself so that his organs and whatnot could keep working the way that they need to despite any damage that he takes. So like that's kind of how it worked. But yeah, I don't remember him taking like a hole through the midsection like this. So maybe this is from, you know, a previous fight in his life or something like that, or maybe it is a
yeah
situation where this is somebody else's body and they just put his head on top of it. But I feel like that kind of contradicts the dialogue to a certain degree, like because it's like retrieving the head was rather fortuitous. I
yeah
guess hair, bones, nails, flesh, anything would have worked really. I can't use my gift if there's nothing left of the corpse. So that doesn't necessarily mean that this has to be his entire body, but just that you need something there in order to bring a specific you need something from a specific person in order to bring that specific person back with this power, I guess is
yeah
kind of what it's saying. So I don't think that there's anything here that says like this has to be his torso or whatever.
Yeah, because like I imagine it sank to the bottom of the fucking ocean because Julian fought him underwater and brought his head
And
back
brought
up
his
and
head
threw it.
back up,
Yeah.
exactly.
So like I wonder in this case, like if they had only retrieved like his fingernails or whatever, would her ability to have like recreated his entire body even without having his head?
Yeah, I don't
But
know. Or maybe she could use like a completely different body and just like attach the nails, you know, the fingernails to it, and suddenly it's
yeah.
still Arcos. I don't know. That's actually a really interesting question now.
Yeah, or like if it was like a doll, kind of like it was just a blank canvas, a blank mannequin, and she like, breathes. It's she, in this case, she presses on the fingernails, and then the fingernails kind of like regenerate like all of his skin and stuff, all of his cells kind of like populate and cover over the doll or whatever. So is this an actual dead body with his head just sewn on top, or is this a doll that like she stuck his head on and then all of his skin kind of grew over it too? I want to see how that process works. It might be in the
Yeah,
chapter. I don't think it
and
is,
didn't
but
they say? Hold on one second. Isn't I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but didn't she say that she used like mud or some shit for some of this too? Like, wait a minute. Am I
mm,
tripping? Hold on one second. Let me go back through the beginning of this.
yeah, 'cause I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, hold on one
Yeah, yeah,
second.
yeah. I mixed what was left of the body with mud to create him. He's a living doll. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So
What
he is
page is
basically
that?
like clay. That's five. The one
Oh
where I
yeah,
said
yeah.
the iris page.
Yeah, I mixed what was left of the body with mud to create him. So that's probably maybe where that hole came from. I don't think this is this nigga's body, bro. I think he's like Frankenstein to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really love like all of the caveats that they kind of like, you know, uh laid out, for all of this too. It's like, okay, so it's him, but his consciousness can be like manipulated. Like I can completely take away his ego. His power is basically cut in half. Like, or his gift is greatly diminished. It's a weakness shared by all of my living dolls. Okay, so it's like we kind of know like the limitations and the strengths and the weaknesses of this ability, and it's not just like outright necromancy. You got to go through a few steps to. You can't just like do this on the fly. You probably need like a room where you like constitute the body to a certain level of completedness. Then you like put the aura or the magic or the energy like into it, and then it comes to life. And then after it comes to life, you have these limitations where the power is a fraction of what it was before, and it can die. You can't make a second one if this one dies. Like it just feels really good as a power, and makes it feel like, yeah, like this is actually like a process. It's not just snap my fingers and here we are. It's like, no, I had to like go through kind of a lot to get us to this point in the first place, and now that it's here, it's not just the person. It's a person that's with reduced strength, and I just love when stories like go out of their way to kind of make it feel like as believable as possible.
Yeah, and then I guess in that way, it's like shouldn't be too surprised when like he eventually loses because like yeah, he's weakened in all aspects, but like kind of make it believable, kind of like how in My Hero Academia it was like I felt like Shigaraki fighting Stars and Stripes. Like I felt like the whole point of that fight was to have some of Shigaraki's quirks get like killed, so it'd
Hmm.
be believable when like he eventually die or loses, because otherwise it's like how are you really supposed to beat this dude?
Right.
It's like, okay, you just kind of like suck out a lot of his power so that he's like limited. He's still like unbelievably strong, but like, yeah, now he can't regenerate as fast because they got rid of the regen quirk or whatever. So in this case, it's like, yeah, well, he's super weak or whatever. He's still got the water power. So you're about to get another water fight, and you get this like Arcos versus his sister, and that all of the what comes with that family dynamic. But in a
Yeah.
case where she's the one that remembers, and he has no clue who the fuck she is, and it like makes sense that he loses or whatever in this 2 or 3v1 situation. So
Yeah.
it's still gonna be cool, but
There's just a
it
lot of
definitely
like dots laid out that they're thoroughly making sure that they connect in a way that creates certain expectations inside of the audience, but still like has like a lot left up to our imagination so that we don't know exactly what can happen next. And that's where
yeah.
they're going to introduce, whatever creativity to the conflict that makes it, unique and different from previous confrontations or whatever, which feels really good. And there's also like a little bit of like stakes that they're kind of creating on the side of the antagonist, because it's like, yo, if the queen finds out like what we're doing with her son's body right now, we're kind of fucked. So like
Yeah.
it creates that expectation too of like, yo, they have to play this really carefully, even if it is their trump card and they're really confident about it. Like this information cannot get out, and it just like makes everything feel so much more I don't know. It just adds like another like compelling layer to like the whole thing for me because I'm like, bro, what is really going to happen? Like we have the fight to worry about. We have like after the fight to worry about. Like what if like the queen or royalty or the king is sending like scouts out to see like if Elstrie's been dealt with or how the conflict plays out and whatnot, and that information can get back to the queen, and then we might have like queen stuff to deal with because it's like on page 11 too. It says, right, that executioner of hers will come for our heads. So is that who this sword wielding character is? Like, is this the queen in this like armor that's like smiling with her eyes closed, and this is her executioner or
Yeah,
whatnot? Because like this character does not look very scary at all, but they've
she's
got to,
kind
yeah,
of giving me like Kobeni vibes or
yeah,
whatever
like
in
they
a
got to
Kobeni
be
kind of
cold
way.
because
Yeah,
the bad guys are scared of her or whatever,
yeah.
or
I
him or
think
whatever.
also,
Yeah.
I think another important thing. It could be nothing, but she's also got that same kind of like diamond on her waist that like what you call it. Helm has around her neck. Like
Oh shit,
I'm
you're right.
guessing
Good
is
spot.
yeah. I'm thinking that that's some sort of emblem to for the
For
seven
the
Iris whatever.
seven, for the Iris
Yeah,
members. Okay, wait a minute. Now I'm super excited to see what. Okay, so then the executioner has to come into play. They have to get found out. The queen's gonna activate, send her little nigga in to do something, and then Helm is just going to die.
yeah,
That's gonna
and
be crazy.
I can see her being like the weird kind of shaky, timid, nervous character where she pops up and she's like, excuse me," and while they're in the middle of the fight, it's like, "The queen said that if anyone breaks the law or whatever, I have to behead people." She's just fucking like
Locks
next
in and
page,
goes
just yeah,
crazy.
next page, Helm's head is just on the ground. It's like, "Thank you" or whatever. She says some polite shit like "Thank you for your time" or something, and then like leaves with her head, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? She doesn't like kill
Yeah,
everyone else.
yeah. That's wild that
But
Helm's like, hey man, how you gonna pay for this? And Elsie's like, I don't got no money. She like slams her against the wall. I was like, you're gonna give me the buns then. I was like, oh shit.
yeah,
I
I'm like,
was
shit, here,
like,
baby.
yeah.
Like, God damn, what I gotta do?
Yeah, I was like, hey man,
What I gotta do to
I'm
get in
broke
there?
too. I got
Yeah, what I gotta
let me
do in there?
so anything I could do?
Type shit. I'll volunteer as tribute. It's like I think like no like this was an upfront thing. Like she says, "I'll be gentle, show me to your quarters." Like nigga, she took that payment up front. Like I was thinking, like, oh, it's a shame that we'll never get to see that happen because they'll probably die here. But nope, she already got them scissor lips. Yeah, that shit already done happened. That
Yo,
the act has
already
already
got
been
the
committed.
scissor lips,
Yeah, that shit
Dogbert.
has already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, she already got the cheeks. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple shots here of dude ass looking weird as fuck. Like on this page, where was it? The page where she's like
Oh, we're doing art criticisms again.
not so heavily, but just like the page 17 where Elstrie's like, why not? I'll meet your demands if it means securing the strongest piece. Fucking Arcos, he looks kind of like how Tamsi did in the like fucking weird androgyny zone that he goes into or whatever when we see
Yeah,
his
with
inner
with the absolute cinema meme or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's I've seen him have this face or whatever. He just looks derpy. And then earlier in the chapter he's kind of similar when he's just like, "Oh, what's going on?" I did for a second, like when he first speaks, he's like, "Who are you?" It's like, wait, no, who the fuck am I? It's like he realizes that he does it like he's not a person or something. Like it's interesting. This like wake up, conversation or whatever.
Yeah,
And then he doesn't say like shit else after that, like for the entire thing. I wonder if like that's just like a lack of thought, or if he's just like deep in thought, like who am I while these psycho bitches are talking about having sex? Like what the fuck is going on? Like whatever. Or is there some sort of like is there a spell? Does she like say like sick him and he fucking uncontrollably fights or whatever? Or is he fighting like to him? Is he fighting because like your mama and I listen to mama type shit? I wonder what the whole like necromancy deal is.
yeah. He has no memory of his past, no personality, no memory, no emotion. I'm free to mold him however I wish, and that's as she creates him. But it seems like she left like a certain level of his consciousness available or his ego or whatever because she said I can even completely erase his ego if I wanted to. What page is that on?
Um,
um
yeah, where was that? Can't make the same doll twice. Animated doll.
Yeah, hold on.
That's 6. I can even erase his ego completely. Just get rid of his arrogance and negligence for now.
Yeah, page 6. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's basically like she wants it to be Arcos because I want to say that if it's just the body and the powers, the the soul or the consciousness inhabiting the body might not be as like in tune with the gift in order to fight like properly. So you kind of have to like leave a little bit of the previous consciousness there when it comes to resurrecting someone with a specific gift, because the person who they once were understood the gift enough to be, you know, efficient or capable enough with it in order to be used as a proper warrior or whatever. So you kind of just like got rid of that arrogance, got rid of the negligence, and then it's still Arcos so that he can effectively use his power enough to be a problem in the fight. And so I think that that comes into play later on like a character level, because if there's still a little bit of Arcos in there, he had like a strong enough like will and a strong enough sense of self to where I can see him being like, hold on, bro, who the fuck was I? Nah,
Yeah.
nah, nigga. Hold on, I'm Arcos, bro. Like that might end up like coming into play like later on in the arc or whatever. Because there's always like those little like chances that you kind of take, and that's why it's probably in the dialogue in the first place. Like I could erase the ego entirely if I wanted to, but I didn't, and because I didn't, there's that chance that they could kind of like come back into themselves the longer that they're alive as this new like doll or whatever, and we could get some interesting character stuff with that later with the resurrected Arcos, where he gets more and more of his ego back as like time goes on while he's in this resurrected state, and then he's like, hold on, wait a minute, I know who I was before now, like type shit. We might get like that kind of scene in the later storytelling, which would be really interesting.
Yeah, I really want to see how the next chapter goes and like what the rest of his dialogue is like, because I'm kind of getting like I'm new here and like kind of like I feel like he's got like a childish, like not child, but like I don't know, aloof. He just feels because he's like Atlas, fine, I don't really care, and then he's like, it may be my first battle, but I'll do what I can. Like he doesn't have that confidence, but like he's obviously strong and he knows that he's like on the side of these strong people, but he just I don't know. It feels like it's possible that maybe he doesn't die, but Helm does, and then he still sticks around. Like the spell doesn't become undone, and he just kind of like goes with the flow. Like, oh, I guess now that my master's dead, I'll see what this life shit's about, and just kind of like goes about
Trying to see what some of
whatever
these
path.
guilds talking about.
Yeah, he's just kind of he's just kind of one foot's in front of the others or whatever, and just goes with the flow. But I don't know.
Yeah,
This is interesting. His facial expression and like the few things that he does say, it just doesn't give off like mindless killer or whatever. He's like,
right.
huh?
No,
He's
he's
just
definitely like a lot more of a person than I feel like it seems. I think it's just because of how freshly resurrected he is, and he's had like certain aspects of his ego or certain aspects of his character kind of like taken away for the sake of what Helm and Elstree kind of want to do with him. Where he's just like, it's kind of like I was talking about like a moment ago, where you have to leave some of the person available if they have a gift like this so that they can be effective with it or whatever. It's kind of like if you take everything away consciousness wise and ego wise, and you just like raise a dead body with a gift inside of it. It's kind of like the first time you're playing a fighting game where you don't know any of the combos and you're just going to
yeah.
be like button mashing and seeing what happens. But if you take away, if you keep everything the same except for the arrogance and the negligence, then it's like, okay, you were S ranked, like diamond or like mythic or whatever, but now you're just like gold 2 or something like that, to where you still know enough about who you were before to effectively use your powers enough to be usable in this situation, but you're not like the platinum diamond mythic level player that you were before with all of your wits about you, is kind of how I'm interpreting it. So I think that comes into play later. Like I think that that's like a
Yeah.
mistake, from from Helm, to where she left enough of Arcos there to where he can eventually like reclaim all of his wits or all of his memories or remember who he was before, and that'll come into play character wise later. I'm really excited for that possibility.
Yeah, and I also want to see like because they were worried about like people finding out and Elstree before unveiling, Arcos. She was like, I don't want the other sorcerers to be like watching or whatever. So it's like they might still be nearby. Not only are they like in the area, but like I said, the queen might have sent someone, or the queen might be here herself or something. Like there's definitely a lot to potentially happen here. But I want to know more about these fucking armor, the like knight armors that they're wearing. Like, is there some significance? Because Arcos is wearing it, his mom's wearing it. I think we've seen his mom wear that before, like in a flashback where Arcos was a kid, and she was like, "Yeah, you can kill your, do whatever you want." She was wearing that same armor, and I'm pretty sure that Lucas was wearing it too in his flashback
Yeah,
or
he
whatever. So
was.
it's like, yeah. So I wonder what the significance is behind that, or if it's just like that's just royalty armor
Yeah,
type
maybe it's
shit.
just royalty gear, but I mean, if there is something special about this armor specifically, then that means that we're going to get writing dedicated to the armorer that like forges it or like, makes it or whatever. And I like love
Yeah.
stuff like that, world building wise.
Yeah, I need that. I need me a fucking set of this shit too. That's just hard.
Oh God, bro, I'm trying to cosplay this shit.
Yeah. Let me get that fucking robe, nigga. Let me get that shit. Cut his head off and let me toss me that. One other thing I guess before we clock out on this one is like I was confused about this page 18. After they're talking about like doing the deed, there's like this looks like explosion or something. Am I misremembering? Like, was there an explosion in the last couple chapters? Like, there's a lot of smoke, and then it zooms in, and then there's it looks like a canyon or something. A lot of smoke. Like I know
Yeah,
they're like in like not a desert, but like I don't know what the fuck they're in, but like I don't. I feel
some
like
kind
their
of like
fight so
open
far,
field, open area, wasteland
yeah,
type situation where,
yeah, wasteland. But I don't
yeah.
feel like their fights have kicked up this kind of dust. Like,
Yeah, I think that's just like because you can see it in the gutters that it's like going, it's like a gradient from black to gray to white. So we're like coming back to reality, or we're coming back to like the present moment rather. And I think this is just like reminding us like, oh yeah, there's a fight going on in here, and like this is just us repositioning ourselves back into the area where the conflict is going down. And but it does seem like that's a lot. That's a big area
yeah,
that
that's a lot.
this.
That's a big smokestack.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, what did happen there? Is that literally just like a clashing of abilities that happened kind of like off screen? Because he's got the shield out now. So it's like, did Arcos like send some kind of crazy attack and Lucas blocked it, and that's what kicked up all of this smoke in the area? I feel like that has to
Well,
be what it was, right?
in the previous chapter, he kind of like attacked, I think, and well, Lucas kind of like deflected like a water bolt or whatever, and then
Hmm.
he got in front of them and was like, "Yeah, you're gonna, there's no way we can beat him. You should know better than anyone else." And then the chapter kind of ended there
Yeah, so
after
I
seeing
think I
him.
think coming back into the present moment with this page 18 is just this way of like Toru kind of like letting us know like we're back into the present moment. There was an off-screen like clash to like remind us of where we are kind of on the map here, and it's like, yeah, these niggas are fighting over here, and it was just like an off-screen like attack where abilities clashed for a second, and it's like, and now we're back to the present moment and we're fighting again. It's kind
That's if that's the case, I think that's a kind of weird decision to make the smoke
of
like you could have
huge
just
like
zoomed
that.
in without, yeah, because
Yeah,
that looks like some shit like a tornado is on the way or something
right,
like,
right.
or like I'm thinking that like fucking Sukuna fired a fucking arrow, like this is
Yeah, it's a
big.
big. This is big. Yeah, a lot of the
Yeah,
landscape is affected by this.
and this nigga controls water, so it's like what's happening?
Yeah, no,
Is it
no, I
steam
didn't
or
even think
something?
about that. Yeah, no, I wonder.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean, I think it'd be cool if it was like a fucking sandstorm or something on the way, and they just don't realize it, and they're kind of like they're a few like 100 meters away or something behind, a bunch of. They're like in some sort of structure or like in a downed castle or whatever, so they can't see like up above the canyon that like a tornado is heading their way or some shit.
Right.
Unlikely, but I don't know. That'd be one way to break up some of these fights if it gets to a point where it feels like it doesn't really make sense for a character to beat like Arcos or something. It's like, oh fuck it, tornado, here we go.
Yeah, natural disaster,
Yeah,
distraction. Yeah.
yeah, and it would kind of go along with the whole fate stuff. Like, yeah, Diane's here, and it's like, yep, she's fated to kill the king, so can't have her dying to fucking plebeians. So here
Yeah.
goes a fucking tornado. But yeah, other than that, good chapter. Good stuff with Helen always. Hopefully, get to see more of her before her head's cut off, and
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And
But
she's
yeah,
got to have other like if the conflict does kind of zero in on Helm and she gets attacked in any kind of way, like without Arcos there to defend her because Arcos is, preoccupied elsewhere fighting someone else or something, I bet you she'll have like some skeletons pop out of the ground, and this can't be her only, you know, undead soldier. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure like if the spotlight does go on her for one reason or another, she'll be like, oh shit, all right, other dead niggas fight for me,
Yeah.
and we could get some stuff like that.
Yeah, and I wonder, like in this case, it's like okay, so it's her gift, so it's like there's no like there's not like a mana cost. She did this from the crib, so it's not like she did this. She created this Arcos doll probably like days ago, and then
Right.
brought it here. So it's like, is this constantly been draining like a mana bar, or like was it just like a ritual that she did? And well, no, it's her gift, I think. So
Yeah,
it's
that's a
like
good
okay,
question. Like, is this something that while it's active and while the corpse doll is, doing stuff, is it costing her mana to maintain it? Or is it just
yeah,
like a one cost thing, at the time of the resurrection of the body that takes the mana? Because yeah, like if she put this together a couple days ago, then she could have that mana back by now, obviously, because it's been some time. If it is like a one cost effect where it takes like 60 mana or whatever to do the spell, and then it's one and done, and now you have control over the corpse from that point on without there being any more energy, used for it, then that's pretty broken.
yeah,
I can see it being the former though, to where it's like constantly use. I can see it going either way, but I think that it would be better maybe if it was something that required her to kind of like concentrate and use energy throughout the life of the doll.
yeah. I do. I want to see some pressure get put onto her, like her maybe she jumps back to dodge an attack, and she like reaches into her pocket, grabs like two fucking dog paws, and then it's like, what's the process for this reanimation? Like, does she just clap her hands, or does she fucking have to like sit down and fucking light incense and humogwigwe whatever, and does she have to channel some shit, or is it just like fucking go reanimation jutsu and just poof, there here's the bodies? I feel like there's probably a bit of a process to it, because like Arcos wakes up on a table in a fucking room full of like plants, and there's like cleavers and scissors on the table and shit. So it's like I want to see what this process is like in the field, because there's no way she just comes out with just one zombie that she walks with. Like there's got to be, if people destroy it, she knows that they can be destroyed because it's not like all powerful, and she says she can't resurrect the same one twice. It's like, okay, what's plan B if she gets attacked while Arcos is pinned down, or if Arcos gets destroyed? What's the next plan? I want to see how she follows up.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I think I'm spent on this one. You got anything
Oh
else?
no, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for Centuria, chapter 49, Grave Robber Helm. Now jumping into Dandadan, whatever you want to call it, chapter 191, The Mistake. And so we got teacher lady, I forget her name, Adachi. What was her
Adachi.
name? Yeah, yeah, Mika Adachi. She's reporting in to turn in the power that she stole from Buff nigga.
Hmm.
Um, she's met by fucking Ghoulie Ghoulerton. Well, this dude's creepy as fuck looking.
But he ends up being like the nigga from Jumanji, right?
Yeah, he's so I was thinking that he is, I guess, yeah. I was thinking that he was somebody infused with that power, like he was just a dude who was given that ability or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I can't remember
Um
exactly like what happened. I know Saint Germain pieced his ass up, but I can't remember if he was like dispelled or murdered, or if they just like spanked him and he was like, "I'll see you next time, kids," and then like ran off.
yeah, no, Jermaine definitely like beat him and stuck him in the sword, and then yeah, was like, gotcha bitch. He Pokemoned him. So
Oh
I
shit.
wonder, yeah, if this is the actual like the actual like yokai or whatever, or if Jermaine like gave this to somebody and it's like
No, I
it
think it
kept
is
this.
him because he's like he recognizes the officer and he's like, "Oh shit, the fairy tale card won't work on this nigga," which I don't even remember why not.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it's a like a kind of thing where it's like I already used my ability on him once and it
Hmm.
can't happen again or something. I don't know. I'd
Maybe.
have to go back and look. But yeah, that was a weird exchange. But um yeah, she's getting tossed to the side, bro. Is like, you you fucking you attacked the guy who was on our side. So like, are you trying to betray us? Type shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of
With
interesting
the
stuff in the dialogue here, even where he's like, a person with marvelous power would have an ID cosmos, which does not even fear death. That's I was like, I had to like reread that a couple times. Like, am I misreading this? An ID cosmos? Have we gotten that term in Dandadan before?
no, that's new.
That's
It
new,
might.
isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know if id is a thing. Like, I know ID, identification, but like, is I think I've heard the like id used before too. Not in this series, but I don't know if it's a thing. Maybe in another series, but I could be making some shit
Oh,
up. But
id. Yeah, the id is the part of the mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifested.
okay, so yeah, I was thinking something like that. Like maybe it's not like it's some sort of like inner thing. Would you just look that up that quick, or you just
Yeah,
knew what that was?
I googled that.
Okay, that
No,
was quick. Would you type in
I
the
could have
id?
I could have really I'm just tight, bro. I knew that off top, but no,
Nah.
I googled it
Yeah.
real quick.
Okay. So it's an ego thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
ego thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was just I felt like it was something like that because they were like they don't fear they don't fear even death. So I think it's more of like an inner like mind type of thing where it's just like they always will do what they feel is right even if like their life is in danger, kind of like Deku moving,
Deku, yeah.
yeah, my legs just moved on their own, I didn't fucking think about it type shit. So I think he's just saying like people who the powers that we want to take are from people who are strong like that, and you're not that type of person. You fucking you looked at the abyss and fucking blinked type shit
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. This is I mean, it's an interesting chapter.
He really
I
bapped
still
her in the nose bone with this briefcase though. I was like, hold on, bro.
yeah,
She doing
that's
it for Mom Dukes. Leave her alone.
some intense domestic violence right there. You just beat bro, like hit a woman in the fucking forehead with a briefcase. Like how heavy is this thing? Her bowel
Yukinobu
hurt.
Tatsu be beyond that kind of timing though. Like he be letting these women like take crazy beatings and crazy damage. Like I've been like there's like times where I'm like it like physically affects me like the way that these characters be getting hit. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
just like really high impact and in like really like painful spots that they be getting hit and taking damage and I'd be like, ooh, ah.
yeah. The
Yeah.
worst one for me was in Gachi when Rudo was like beating the shit out of Amo, but that was a while ago, and that was also under like a mind control or something.
I
But
don't
like
even remember that.
yeah, it was early when they first met Amo or whatever. But
Mm.
like so far, I can't think of anything else that has had like some shit like that where I'm just like, ooh, I can't, yeah, just
Yeah.
stop, please.
Yeah.
But
But
like,
here
yeah,
come
he's
Officer folks. He came in with the fucking with the drop kick to the chin bone, dog. I was like, yeah. And it's crazy because it's like when this character was introduced, like he has like, a very a very like imposing design or whatever, but like I did not think that this nigga was gonna get so many like aura moments, bro. Like this officer
yeah,
is on timing whenever he shows up. He's so cool.
yeah, he's definitely a cool character, and I mean, we've seen his character a bit. I like how Yukinobu keeps bringing these characters back around and stuff, and it's like he was there when Seiko got attacked or whatever, and
Hmm.
he's been on the trail. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and he's tracked down this. I guess maybe he was following the teacher, or
Yeah.
maybe he saw like maybe he saw like the fucking the Lord of Flies type shit, like all the flies flying to the apartment, and he knew that there was some supernatural shit, and he was scoping the area out, and he saw Adachi like leave the building, and was like, she probably got something to do with it,
Yeah.
type shit.
And I just love like the straight man like try hard detective like trope or archetype or whatever. Like admit like there's a lot of moving parts in Dandadan right now plot wise, and a lot of like characters are like on the chessboard doing things like in the background or unbeknownst to others. There's a lot of like ulterior motives and a lot of mystery going on, so it's just really cool to have like the try hard detective character like trying to like piece things together, because it's like everybody got superpowers or they're an alien. This is just a regular ass nigga who like goes to work and does push-ups and shit, but he's like on timing, you know what I mean? Like he's here in the conflict trying to put pieces together, and I just think that that's just a really cool situation to have in the plot that we're in with Don Don right now.
Yeah, we definitely are kind of like gearing up towards another big kind of like massive scale battle with a bunch of people on each side because like we you know like we got that mini arc with Seiko and her like Ghostbuster Mythbuster homies, and now the cop is being shown multiple times. Like the cop's been like he had a big presence in the previous arc or whatever when they met Zuma, but now he's been shown, you know, 2 or 3 times in this arc, and he's like tracking down the mystery or whatever. He's like trying to figure out what's going on, but
Mm-hmm.
he
Can't
doesn't
help
have
but
any
root
like
for him.
supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but you're
he
also
doesn't
worried
have any
about him
like help.
because he doesn't have any. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he could fight or whatever, but he don't got powers. So it's like, oh man, you're just trying to do the right thing and like get to the bottom of this, but you're kind of like out of your league power wise. So sure, you can pull up and drop kick this dude who can only use an ability that doesn't work on you right now. But like, what's gonna happen when the real niggas show up and you're around, bro?
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried for you.
Yeah, I feel like he's either like gonna have to like cave in and go and holler at somebody like Okarun or like Seiko or something, somebody that he knows, maybe Zuma or something, or maybe he's gonna get caught up. And it's like because this is twice now where he's been investigating. He had a lead. He was right. Like he had the right person or whatever. But like he pins the woman down and he looks up and the fucking the card dude's gone. He's out. A fairy tale card guy is fucking gone. And last time he approached Seiko and was asking them questions and shit, and then he like looked down and then they fucking poofed. They were gone. It's like
Yeah.
this has happened to him twice, and it's like he asked for backup. His guys are gonna get here. Nobody's gonna be here. They're like, what's happening? Because this lady Adachi, she might get up and bounce too. Like, nope, can't stay. Sorry,
Yeah.
gotta go.
I
I'm a
love this.
teacher.
I love this drawing of him too. Like he hits the over the shoulder throw and like pins her arm behind her or whatever, and looks up and dude is gone, and then like immediately goes for the radio on his shoulder, and it's just like I don't know. It's just a cool scene, but it's like yeah, who are you calling for, my nigga? Like everyone that you're radioing back to right now is not about this supernatural alien life that like you are kind of like alone in your police force in dealing with this kind of thing. So it's like what you were
Yeah.
gonna call fucking backup to come pull up and against the nigga that's using like supernatural like fairy tale cards and shit. Like you're sending
Well,
these niggas to their death basically.
Well, he called for backup before realizing that it was the fairy tale. At first, he just saw the Adachi getting their ass beaten. He drop kicked him and was like, "Need backup." And then
Oh
after that,
yeah,
it
now
revealed.
he's
So
probably like never mind on that backup in this
yeah,
panel
yeah.
on
It's
16 that I'm
on.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on thinking like his guys. If like people are around the corner, they're gonna get there, and it's like, "Yo, you said you needed backup, but it looks like it was one woman. You needed help with her." Type shit. It's like,
Now I look crazy.
yeah, seeking immediate assistance. And it's like for what girl, my nigga? Like
This
she
lady is 90 pounds.
Yeah, they're gonna be looking at him crazy too because her face is all beat up. Like, bro, you broke her nose? You fucking sumo? You suplexed her? Like,
Yeah,
what's
that's
going on?
now that I've like kind of like thought about it better. Like this is definitely like on page 16 when he's like radioing back in. This expression on his face is probably like I can't have backup come here right now.
I look crazy,
I
bro.
look crazy as fuck right now. Hey, never mind
Yeah,
on that. We good.
yeah, bro. Like Zuma, like next we're gonna see like 10 chapters from now. Zuma's gonna go home and his fucking dude's just gonna be there. It's like, what are you doing home? You shouldn't even be at work. It's like I got fucking laid off or whatever. They made me take fucking they made me take a fucking paid vacation or
And
some
a
shit.
psych
Like I can't.
eval.
Yeah, yeah, because they caught me beating up some woman. He's like, "Hey, you remember those cards or whatever?" It's like, I could see because he's gonna have to get some not psycho, but paranormal assistance because he's doing this shit on his own, and he's encountered this before with the kids, but like he can't do this shit on his own.
Right.
He's either gonna get fucking fucked up, or he's gonna have to like approach somebody. I don't think he's gonna work with Seiko because like she already jetted on him.
You
But
about to get some tight nano skin shit, watch.
bro,
In the
gotta get
future.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, fucking
And we kind of flash to back to Seiko team perspective. And I loved in the dialogue here where Manjiro is like, "Hey man, be careful. Like, take a painkiller every 6 hours. Like, you got broken ribs. Like, reminding the audience, like, yo, this character took damage like a little bit ago. Like, that shit doesn't just go away because we're in a new location right now. Like, that's probably going to come into play like the next time that this team encounters some kind of conflict. Like Seiko's not going to be able to fight at full strength, or it's just going to be a point of stakes where whoever she's fighting can like exploit the damages that she's carrying over from the previous conflict that she's in, and that just makes shit feel a lot better in conflicts when the audience is reminded of damage that characters took beforehand, and it doesn't just get
yeah,
like erased and reset because we're in a new arc. But yeah.
And this looks like it looks like they're at like an airport too. Like my thought was that they were taking the van and they were gonna drive up north to like some ancient shrine or something, but like I guess they drove to like an airport and now they're gonna fly to some place. It's like okay, what? Like when I saw this building, this like landscape, I was like, what the fuck are they?
Oh
But
yeah, they
like
probably
you know,
hopping on like a bullet train or some shit.
yeah, like I mean, a mall or something. Yeah, they most likely catch a train or something. But I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I was definitely just thinking it was like road trip and we were just gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's like, no, we got to
yeah.
drive to this place, then we got to hop on the train, go to that place. We're traveling.
Okay, I like the train idea. I definitely was leaning more towards plane, but I think train makes more sense, and I would like that
Fights
because
can
like
happen easier and better on trains than planes, and
yeah,
it's like Japan too, so
yeah, yeah.
they're all about like trains and shit.
And I've seen a couple of like train fights in anime and manga, and I really like them. So
They
I'm looking forward
always
to this one.
hit, dude. Like
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like they're always sick.
yeah. One of my favorite JoJo fights took place on a train. That shit was crazy hard, but
Hell yeah.
I'm hoping now that like they get on this train and it's like there's bad guys on the train too trying to like intercept them or cut them off or
Oh
something.
yeah, there's niggas afoot for sure, for sure. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be villains on the train.
We're gonna get like a fucking Momo holding a train together like Spider-Man scene type
Oh
shit.
shit, psionic hands
Yeah.
grabbing the buildings to slow down the train speed.
Yeah, I need that.
Oh, dude, I would love that. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, it looks like Momo's like getting to a point where she's like starting to like vanish from like, you know, the main cast perspective of her or perception of her or whatever. Like she's like, yo, I've been trying to talk to Bamola for like a little bit and she's like not even responding to me anymore. Like, Gigi, what the fuck? That's like
Yeah.
kind of scary. Yeah.
Wonder what the case is. Maybe it's like people who like the people who are like least close to her probably start like seeing her like she starts disappearing to Vamola because she's probably like like furthest to Vamola personally or whatever.
Emotionally,
Whereas
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and her and Gigi got like mad history. And you know, obviously Seiko's her granny or whatever, but yeah, Vamola can't see her.
That's sad, bro. Like now I'm like I love the way that Yukino Butatsu is handling this pygmy curse or whatever on Momo because like it's doing its job. You know what I mean? Like we know that she's eventually going to get fixed, but
Yeah,
like in the meantime, you know he's doing a lot of really good writing dedicated to like how big of a deal it is that the curse is progressing, and you know it's not like you know too in your face. It's like subtle enough to where you know whenever it does come back up in the writing, it's like oh yeah, oh fuck. It just like invokes that feeling of like tension and like worry and stakes that you're like yo we have to figure this out like soon. This is a problem. Like how is this going to you know affect things for in a negative way before it's eventually fixed.
yeah,
And I'm excited to see how Yukinobu plays with that because he seems to care a lot about this plot line.
yeah. So I wonder if this is gonna if they're gonna stay here or if this was just a quick check in because at the end we get like we you know tap back into Okaroon and Kenta and Ira and I just forgot her name, but they all you know appear. So it's like, are we gonna jump back to Okaroon's situation next week, or is it like we're just seeing them to kind of see what a world would be like without Momo type of deals? Like, oh man, if everyone forgets me, it's just gonna be them. Um, yeah, what I don't know what kind of vibe we're getting here, but I'm kind of hoping that like maybe it starts with them say like getting on the train or something, and then we check back in for the back half or whatever for Okaroon because I want to see what this situation is going on because they I mean they beat Hase, they fucking beat the shit out of him last
Beat the
chapter.
brakes off that nigga,
Yeah,
bro. That was so sick.
yeah. That fucking like power bomb, whatever. That shit was fire. What makes us strong. Kenta, that shit, Kenta, he deserves his flowers. I'm gonna have to make a fucking personal Kenta video
Yeah,
just
you.
giving him
I was
props.
about to say like you need the Kinta video because it's like not
Yeah,
only is it just cool that they defeated him in general and the writing for that was awesome, but like they beat this nigga at his own game. Like they fucking like beat him with a power bomb stomp into the ground.
yeah,
Like that's how this nigga fights. So there's a little layer of irony there for him too, which is like you know what Balik type characters kind of deserve
yeah,
in
yeah.
fictional writing, in my opinion. It's like, yeah,
It's like
we beat you. We beat you with your move, nigga. Now what?
yeah, you be giving people wedgies and now your underwear hanging by the flagpole, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to see what's up with this situation because like the alien is still there too. So it's like, is she? Wait, did she? I think she fled.
Yeah,
Actually,
she
I can't
bounced. She
remember.
was like, oh shit, they fucked me up. All right. Until next time, bitch.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, can't wait to see what happens there, and if they, straighten that up. Like, yo, I don't have powers. I did, but like I don't right now, type shit or something. But I think in this last panel, Kensa's like, yo, I did all the work. Hug me or whatever.
Yeah, because
Like, what
Ira
about
runs up
me?
on Takakura because she's like in love with that nigga. Like, yo, you're safe, and you whoop the bad guy. That's so hot. Come here. And Kid just like, hold
Yeah.
on, man. Nah, what?
Where
I
my
was
hug
I
at?
was half of that. I was 80% of that actually. Give me the buns.
It's like, bro, you didn't see my move? Like, what? You get here, you just want to hug him? Like, I did the work. It was my move.
Yeah, but they are dragging this nigga's like unconscious body somewhere, so he's gonna wake up and they're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna probably get some pathos for Hase. They're gonna have like the conversation explaining everything to where it's like, yo, I got these powers because I wanted to show you that you ain't shit for real, and then Okarun's gonna be like, bro, I don't even have powers right now, so you did all that for nothing. And Hase's gonna be like, oh, the error of my ways, and then he's gonna be at the dinner table eating fucking takoyaki with the squad.
No,
Probably. I'm telling you, man. Like that's what it feels
no.
like here because they didn't just leave him there. Like they're bringing him somewhere, So they're gonna have a conversation, like airing everything out and getting onto the same page at the very least. So whether he joins the dinner table or not is one thing, but we're definitely getting the ironing out conversation of motivations and why the conflict happened in the first place, and all of the misunderstandings are going to get corrected, and he's going to be like, damn, I was a bitch ass nigga after all, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. I just don't want this nigga sitting at the table,
I
bruh.
know not everybody need to be at the table, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. Like we're running out of spots, man. Like,
Right.
goddamn, don't need all these niggas at the table. You can be cool, just like stay over there with that shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good chapter. Just ready to see what happens because I mean, we this chapter took place in three places. We got fucking Adachi, and we got fucking Momo's crew, and we got Okarun's crew. I think it's been a while since we've seen multiple different like places,
Or at
locations
least
like
this
that in a
many in one
chapter.
chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So can't wait to see where the I think it'd be a big twist to just show us back to the cop, or like we get like a little mini, two or three chapter arc now following the like Mythbuster dudes to see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Seiko told us to like look some shit up, and then they fucking stumble upon like a fucking ancient ritual slab or some return the slab,
Or
some fucking
suffer my
cursed,
curse. Yeah.
yeah, King Tut's fucking curse or something.
Imhotep face ass.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'm squeezed out for this chapter. You got anything else?
Yeah, I'm squeezy as well.
All right, that is going to do it for Dandadan 191, The Mistake. Now jumping into Shangri-La Frontier, chapter 218, Two Heroes of Battle After the Dream. And I personally don't got really too much to say about this one. Shangri-La Frontier packs a lot of text into every chapter, but I just have a gripe with this fight, and this is the third time now where it's been a fight with an NPC that I don't enjoy, and it's
Oh.
just because of the visual. I don't like the lines or whatever. So like the first one was the Crystal Scorpions. I didn't like that fight just because it's kind of like hard to visually tell what's going on. And then Guitar had that one phase where it was like straight like squigglies and lines and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And now once again we're fighting a character that's like lines and invisible or whatever, or not invisible, but like I don't know. I feel like this one might look better when it's animated.
Sure.
But I don't know. Maybe like if it's got some color, like maybe if it's fucking. Well, no, it's like lines. It's just like I'm guessing it's it's lion armor, so it looks invisible, but like you can't see through it. So it's just
Right.
like yeah. I don't know. It's
I
not
see
my
what you're
favorite.
saying with the Crystal Scorpion for sure. I did not get that feeling from this fight too. I don't know if it was maybe because like this line knight, or I think is the name of it, Contour Knight or something like that. I can't remember. But it reminded me of like skill checks in like Souls games, where, and I think that might actually be like the direct inspiration for a fight like this in Shangri-La Frontier, because in the concept of the fight is basically comes down to like the telegraphed nature of certain attacks when it's an NPC versus when you're fighting an actual person in a PvP scenario.
Yeah,
There's like this line of dialogue. Like I define the difference between monster fights and PvP in terms of the types of opening your foe gives you. With minion level foes that are meant to be mowed down, the devs always code in an opening to exploit, no matter how strong they are. And like even though that this line knight or whatever isn't like a minion level foe or whatever, it still kind of applies to pretty much any kind of NPC style uh enemy in like a game where you kind of have to, especially in games that are as like difficult or high like skill as Souls games, where you kind of have to lose a couple times so that you can get used to the fighting style and the move set of the enemy at hand. And then you could time your exploitations of their animation frames and whatnot after attacks, in between attacks, so that you can get some damage in, because you just like are that familiar with the way that they fight after a while. And it kind of feels like Katarina and Ryosuke Fuji are kind of like channeling that aspect of certain kinds of games into this line or contour night fight with Sunraku. And it made the whole conflict feel like really good to me. Like I loved this fight personally because of how reminiscent it was of like Soulsian video games.
Yeah, I like I mean, I like what goes on in the fight. I just don't like the visuals, and that kind of just distracts me. Like, I don't like
Yeah,
the way it looks. It kind of just makes it hard to like. I don't know. In the Scorpion fight, it was hard to tell what was going on, and I feel like in Katarnet fight, it was the same way. But in this, it's less that is just like I
it's
don't know.
less
It
that
blends
probably
in with the
because it's so
background.
humanoid. Like it's like a
Yeah,
humanoid like enemy, whereas like with the Crystal Scorpion, it's like hard to like keep track of the anatomy, and like and with
that
the
and there was a lot
Katarnage,
of them.
and there was a lot of them too. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, I still like the fight itself. Like, I like that it definitely feels like this fight is definitely tailored towards making you get as close to a PvP encounter as you can with an NPC.
hmm
Because it's like Sunraku attacks, he's like, "Shit, this guy's guard is way too tough." He immediately swings back. He's like, "Fuck, that would have hit home." He knows I can't stagger, and he's making full use of that strength with his strategy. So this thing is like he even says his AI is way too smart. So it's fighting him like an actual like strong boss or like a player would. Somebody who you hit him in the shoulder, he thinks like, oh shit, yeah, I got him. Like I'm gonna go for the fucking cut around the other way where his shield isn't or whatever. So that's interesting. I finally realized what this fight what this armor thing reminded me of, and it was the living armor from Dungeon Meshi, where it's
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah, so it's like the armor itself isn't a thing, but there's like little microscopic jimmies inside there wiggling the armor around, making it
Jimmy's
fight or whatever. Yeah, little baby giblets in there doing
little
stuff.
baby giblets.
Yeah, making that bitch move. Um,
Yeah, I love
I
that in
do.
Dungeon Meshi too. That was sick.
Yeah,
It's just a good
that was a really
idea.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sunraku's usage of his abilities here. He's using the moment sight, and then he uses the 11 hazard to give himself that motion, and it's
Yeah, that's
the
really
good
cool.
vision.
That's a really cool combination of abilities, because it's like he doesn't really have the Levin hazard down. He like tried to activate it in the practice arena or whatever and kept like crashing into the wall and dying. But this moment sight, kind of like slows things down in his perspective. So he's like, yo, what if I pair that with this ability that lets me move too fast to the point where I can't control it? So it's kind of like it's slowing down his view of the world while he's in an accelerated like motion state, so that he can see where he's going a lot better when he's in his accelerated movement state from the Levin hazard. And that was just genius to me. I was like, dude, these motherfuckers get it, bro. Like this is such a good
Yeah.
idea. This is such a creative like way to get around the limitations or the weakness that the Levin Hazard had kind of been showed to have on Sunraku up until this point. It does so much for Sunraku's character to be able to put together this combination of abilities in order to circumvent that weakness that the Levin Hazard had before, which like does a lot for his character and like reinforces like just how experienced he is with gaming in general to be able to come to a conclusion like that in the first place. Like it just does so many things right just in this one idea. It serves so many purposes. I loved everything about it.
Yeah. I do think though, like he defeated it, he hit that single point, it knocked off because this is like armor, and it's like there's actually something I guess inside that the armor is encasing. But like when he beats it, like the armor falls to the ground, and he's like, they're like, you did it. He's like, yeah, but oh shit, there's no loot. So I feel like the fight isn't over. Like if there's no loot, I feel like it may be dispersed. Like maybe
Oh,
whatever
maybe.
was inside, it's just like invisible and it kind of like floated around. Like maybe it's a gas or something and it's waiting for Sunraku to leave or turn his back and then maybe it'll like form and attack or something. Or maybe it's just invisible or like it's afraid, kind of like the giblets inside the living armor or something.
Yeah.
But
No, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that because like the way that I saw it is I had previously, or like a couple minutes ago, had kind of attributed this fight and kind of like tied it to, the skill checks that you see in like Souls games. Because
yeah,
like sometimes you'll just run into like some kind of like armored foe that's just in your way in like a Souls game, and their only purpose is to like see how good at the mechanics you are real quick, and be like, yo, are you where you need to be like skill wise to progress, throughout the world of this game. Like, well, here's, a knight that has like a specific gimmick that it's kind of like testing you for, and it's like, oh, okay, you beat that thing, all right, well, now you can go to the next area because the next boss is going to test you in all of the ways that this little like gimmick mini boss kind of like did. So it just felt like a skill check in that way, to where it like kind of
yeah,
like makes sense that it wouldn't drop anything, because like you could definitely tell that there's a lot of like Soulsian influence on, Shangri-La Frontier, just like conceptually or whatever. So I
yeah.
was just like, oh, okay, it was literally just a skill check. It's not going to drop any loot. Now we're going on to the next boss, and that thing is going to actually drop the loot or whatever. So but yeah, I mean, if this is a thing where, the fight's not over in some kind of capacity, then I'd love that too.
Yeah, it's just like a case where it's like I feel like if Saiger fought it, maybe after she beat it or whatever, she probably would have stood there for a few minutes and was like, that was kind of underwhelming. And maybe like if it's a time thing, like you got to give it 30 seconds and or turn your back on it. Like somebody beating it and then like going, oh, that was underwhelming, and they turn around and like look at their map or like check their chat. Maybe that would be a time when it would like reform and attack. But like it seems like that didn't happen to Saiger, or maybe she would have said something. Um, because she says he's a boss that means nothing if you beat him. So it's like, I don't know, maybe she didn't stay long enough, or maybe she when she knocked the armor off, she kind of was just like, oh wow, that sucked, and she just immediately left. Um, or I don't know, but I mean, it could be nothing. It could just be a DPS check or whatever. Make sure you got the mechanics down, but. Just seeing the armor pieces like flutter down like that, and then just going like, "Oh wow, no loot." It made me think that like the fight's not over yet.
Right. No, I like
But
that.
yeah, very much could be over though, and he just can just go somewhere else, or maybe like when he gets to the next fight, like he discovers something, and it's like the armor fucking floats to that or something. Like
Hmm.
his next enemy has like the line stencil armor or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, no idea. What could happen here, but I'm here for the ride.
for sure. Or it
Yeah,
could like be like what I was kind of like saying a moment ago, where like this thing like checks you for like an area of like mechanical prowess that is going to be relevant in the next fight that actually matters. And so you have to run into this line knight. So it's like, okay, if you could deal with that, then you're probably properly equipped to deal with the actual boss of the area, which is going to kind of incorporate a similar aspect of its fighting style to what he just dealt with. And then it's like, oh, okay, now you can get the loot because you passed the skill check leading up to this.
yeah. Yeah, I do wonder what this thing's health is, I guess, since like it still doesn't really tell us how strong his what's his sword called? Blue Predator
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
It's like
yeah. What are
yeah,
the stats on this thing? Like, all we know is that it's really effective against like underwater enemies. But like, if that's all that it did, then why even try to use it against a non-aquatic enemy, unless it's just like, that high level of a sword, to where like the attack that it gives you, or like the stats that it gives you, just make it like relevant in any conflict, because it gives you like plus 90 attack or something like that. And it
yeah.
doesn't really matter if you're using it against an underwater enemy or not, because it's just like that high level that it gives you that much more power.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's got to be strong. Otherwise, it would be like this stencil knight or whatever is like his armor is tough, but like his insides is like 3 HP jelly or something. It's like okay, if the sword's weak as fuck, but it's really only strong against sea monsters, then yeah, like any shooting a toothpick at this thing would have killed it if you hit it in the right spot. But uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to see the stats on this bad boy, see what
Yeah,
it can really do.
I
Because
feel
I
like
mean,
we
this is
never get that in Shangri-La Frontier too. Like, like if you playing MMORPGs, like you'll find like a weapon, like, after like a loot drop or something like that. And it might have, like a line of text or whatever that says like, plus 30, fire resistance or something like that. But then you also get to see like, how heavy it is, like what kind of, attack power it has. Like we never get those kind of stats in Shangri-La Frontier. I feel like we literally just get like descriptive lines of advantages that a certain
Yeah, what
item
it
gives you.
does.
Yeah, what it does, and we don't get like the raw numbers associated to how much more power it gives you or whatever. We don't get to see the scaling.
Yeah, I gotta go back and look and see, but I think you're right. We won't get that on like anything. Just like clothing items. Like I think his belt was like, yeah, you get plus luck and fucking crit or whatever. But
Yeah, maybe that's just like
the,
too much information for us to have to keep track of if we constantly got all of like the raw numbers associated to like every aspect of the weapon like we normally see in video games, and they just like omitted that for the sake of like it's a comic book and we're telling a story and it's not an actual video game.
still, I think in this case it would have helped to like let us know because they you know specifically tell us that like it's super strong against like sea beasts, but like does that mean it's like worthless normally, or is this monster just weak? Like
Yeah, I agree. We should see that for this.
yeah, for this, because I don't know if like is he tripping right now for using this? Because like I mean he jumped at a fucking knight made of lines and fought it with a sword that is strong against sea creatures. It's like I don't. Is this a good idea? Like
Right.
is he like is this okay? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah,
Maybe it's
hopefully we
because like
find out.
all of his other weapons that like maybe he just really wanted to equip himself with the new stuff that he got, and like more importantly he equipped the Dissipator shield. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he equipped the Dissipator shield. So he has something in one arm where normally his fighting style is like rogue, where he has like twin weapons in both hands. So it's like he couldn't just pull out like one half of waxing and waning
true.
and then use the shield. Like this is like the only like single-handed like weapon that he kind of like has right now, isn't it? So if he wanted to
Yeah,
use
you
the
might be
shield,
right.
he has to use this. Otherwise, he'd be half equipping, things that are like a two-piece set for the
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
it was like, hey, I gotta go try out this shield, but like, fuck it, I got this sword too. Let's see what that bitch like. So
Right. Yeah.
just rushing in to use the new things, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not. In this case,
Yeah. But I mean, this is a
but
game like Shangri-La Frontier like allows for like quote unquote poor decision making like that because the physics are just so perfect that like you can do it, with anything if you're tight enough, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see what happens next week if there's more to this fight, or well, tomorrow if there's more to this fight, or if he's gonna, because he says he's gonna head and fight something. That's it. Mo, I'm not walking out of this place until I find some kind of rare item. So he's gonna fight something else, I guess,
Yeah.
or discover a chest hidden somewhere or something. But yeah, we'll find out soon. Couple hours, because chapters come out on Tuesdays. So
Yes, sir.
I think I'm squeezed out. You got anything else for this one?
No, I'm good.
All right, that's gonna do it for Shangri-La Frontier, Chapter 218, Two Heroes of Battle After the Dream. Now jumping into Gachiakuta or Gachiakuta, however you want to say it, chapter 134, Showtime. And since we missed a week, before we talk about this one, I just wanted to flip back to 133, I think it was, and just touch on the fact that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever we covered the last chapter, I was saying like I felt like it was kind of weird that we didn't see any characters, Halloween costumes for characters from any other series or whatever. Like we didn't get like a Luffy or a Goku or whatever. And then like the following chapter, we got the Beast Titan. We got this dude from Blue Lock. We got Excalibur from Soul Eater,
Yeah.
and then on the next page we got Sunraku. So very happy that that happened.
Oh, I didn't
Ooh.
even see Sun Raku.
Yeah, it was real cool. Oh, and then actually in the next
Oh.
page, Geo and Narrator there too, behind
Oh.
Zonka. So
Oh my
yeah,
dude, how did I not peep either of these?
yeah, very cool
God
stuff.
damn.
Will say I was sad to not see Foot Soldier D anywhere, but it is what it is.
Oh. Are we sure?
Um, I'm still looking. I'm still keeping an eye out, keeping my head on a swivel, and hopefully see that before this arc ends or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if not, it is what it is. But yeah, jumping
Damn.
back to the actual chapter. Yeah, cool chapter. Concert was dope. Two Lily is fucking fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love everything about her. This whole transformation thing. She transformed like 3 times during this.
Three
That was
times.
cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there was like her initial, and
Oh yeah.
then she transforms into this like rock demon fucking kiss type, and then like after that she's back into another form where it's like
Oh
still
yeah.
black, but like a little different. She's still rocking black, but the clothes are different. She doesn't have like the sharp teeth or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or the fucking like German soldier hat.
yeah, the fucking Jotaro Kujo hat,
Yeah.
fucking hair fading into the hat. Yeah, she's got like another
And like
eagle
witch
pigeon.
aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? The crow, the white crow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, dope chapter. This is one that's gonna go crazy when it gets animated. So hopefully they really nail the animation, adaptation, since that's about to start. I want to say in like 2 months or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this is a chapter that's really gonna go crazy if they hit it right.
Something that this chapter reminded me of with the you know just the performer angle and the different transformations that she had throughout the performance. It reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy X too, with like the dress spheres. I don't know if you ever played
Mhm.
Final Fantasy X too, or if you're
Nah.
like a Final Fantasy nigga like that at all. But yeah, it just like reminded me of that game specifically because like that was like a whole like part of the combat system in general as a concept was like you would change your outfit and have like a new fighting style that you could use and you could like dress for your X quip or whatever that concept is from Fairy Tale from like one fighting style to another, and that was like baked into the combat, which was just like really cool to me back then. But
Okay.
yeah, that might be a nod to Final Fantasy X too. For any Final Fantasy players, let me know how you feel about that. But
Let's get it. I do
mhm.
wonder now, like if she has different fighting styles, like when she changes her clothes, like if she fights one way, swaps her fit, and she's like a more savage fighter or something. Like maybe she's arranged. One outfit is for range, the other outfit is for melee or something, and the other one is I don't know healing, support or some shit. Because all three of her outfits are definitely different. They all look cool, but it's like are they just fits for the show
Right,
or
I
yeah.
think they're definitely like related to her fighting style in some kind of way. But I just like love the Final Fantasy connection that we got there, and it's even like if you played that game, it's almost like one of her outfits because there's like three main characters in Final Fantasy X too. You get like Yuna, which is like the sorceress from Final Fantasy X that like summons aeons and whatnot. She's like the main character, but then you also got like Pain, which is like the goth style badass character, and then you had Riku, which is like the thief, like comic relief like character or whatever in the trio, and she's kind of like giving all three of those characters in these transformations to a certain degree. So like I feel like it has to be a reference to Final Fantasy X too.
Could be.
But
This
yeah.
uh this reminded me of a movie I watched on Netflix recently. I can't remember the name, but like this whole scene where they're trying to they're like, okay, we found the person, and so like we need to meet her, but like how is that gonna we can't do it because she's like fucking super famous. She's on the stage or whatever. And there's no way to get to her. There's a movie I was watching where this dad took his daughter to a concert, and the entire concert was actually a trap for him because he's a murderer,
Mm.
and they were like staging the entire thing to try and catch him. So like when him and his daughter entered, like they didn't know where he was or whatever, but they had a description of him. So like the singer was in on it, and so like when the concert started or whatever, his daughter loves this like artist, but like the show started and all the cops are like looking for a guy. They're like, we're looking for a man, middle age, he looks like this type shit, and he like started, catching glimpses of cops, pulling over, arresting guys who look kind of like his build and shit like that, and um, eventually it got to a point where he was trying to find a way out, and he kind of like he orchestrated a way like he was talking to somebody, and they were like at the end of the show, for the last song, the singer artist or whatever, she like calls somebody up to the stage to like to sing the song and dance with her or whatever. So he
Mm.
he figured out a way to like he found the person who picks and was like, my daughter's gonna die or whatever. She's got cancer. She just wanted to see her final wish of meeting this singer or whatever. So it'd be nice if you picked her. And so they like brought the dad and the daughter up there, and that gave him like a way to like sneak through the VIP exits or whatever. But
Oh, sure.
yeah, so it just reminded me of that because they're like, how are we supposed to get up there? It's like, it's impossible because she's a fucking superstar. So
Okay,
super,
okay.
yeah.
I can see
I'll
it. I see
find the
the
movie
vision.
and say it in the comments. Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminded me of that because it's like somebody's on stage and we can't like get up there. It's impossible. But it ends with the raffle. So you think they're gonna call Rudo's number?
No, I think that, and it's funny that like the chapter ends the way that it does because like Buddy's like, all right, everybody, let's just end the suspense right now. But then for the reader, it's like, no, the suspense is crazy because the cliffhanger ends without us actually learning the number. But
Right.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think it could go either way, honestly. But I don't think you end it on a cliffhanger like this with Rudo looking at his ticket if that's what's going to end up happening like next chapter, because I think we're supposed to feel like that is going to happen because of the way that the chapter ends. But I just think that I just think it would be weird if it's like, oh, you don't get to know what
Yeah.
happens until next week, but it's kind of obvious what will, and then next chapter it's like, yeah, it is that thing that
Yeah.
felt obvious at the end of the chapter. So I just feel like there's going to be some kind of rug pull subversion.
I saw somebody say they think it'd be Fu because like how he's standing in the background, just kind of like peeking. He's not even like looking at his ticket. He's just kind of like awkward. He's just
Oh
been
yeah,
awkward the whole time.
yeah.
Just-
No, I didn't even peep, dude. On the second to last page. Yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah.
no, on yeah, he's there, but he's right behind Rudo too on the last page when Rudo's looking at his ticket.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see him
Yeah.
now. I didn't even notice him
Yeah.
there.
I think the only way it would like I mean, I ain't gonna say the only way it'll work, but like I could see it working if they call Rudo, like if it is 666, but like somebody like Rudo's like it's me, and somebody like swipes the ticket and it turns into like a big mayhem, like
Oh
chaotic fucking
shit.
riot. And they're like, give me that ticket, man. I'm it's gonna be me.
Yeah, it's like I got her poster all over my wall in my room. I've been a fan since I was 4 years old. You need to.
Yeah, and it just turns into a big brawl or whatever. Yeah, this is a good chapter. Somebody pointed out that her fucking pupils are like keyholes. I wonder if that's gonna be a thing.
Oh, I just seen that. Yo.
Yeah. That's cool stuff. And maybe like her staff is like some sort of key or
Oh
something. I
shit.
don't know.
Kingdom Hearts type beat.
Yeah, type shit. But yeah, this is cool. Everyone's just hype, just fucking even engines like jumping up and down, sick. Fucking everyone's just losing their shit for this fucking artist.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to see like whenever there's scenes like these in manga where there's no sound and you kind of have to, to make up kind of like what it sounds like yourself as like the reader. It's always like so cool when it eventually does get animated and it's like, oh, we're finally getting the music and the vocals and because you know that
Yeah.
they have to talk to the mangaka and be like, okay, so like what's like what sound like is coming off of these pages in the mangaka's mind. Like you could tell that that's something that they like sit down with him like, okay, so what does this concert sound like to you?
Yeah.
Like
What's the
how do we
vibe?
how do we make this like reality, knowing that there's no sound coming off of these pages, but now there has to be sound because it's an anime. Like, well, like what does this concert sound like? And it's just like can't
Yeah.
wait because Keiran is just a genius, and I know that whatever the concert sounded like in her mind is just gas. Especially if you're going to make a point to have everyone like losing their shit over, the performance and whatnot. I just know it's gonna be a banger episode.
Yeah. So she does say that like the White Crow once saved her life. So like
Where?
they on page 12. She says, "I offer my respect to this wonderful doll festival. My deepest gratitude to the White Crow who once saved my life." But like Zonka goes, "We found her. How are we going to talk to her?" So it's like she's like they're looking for the White Crow. She says the White Crow saved their life. Her clothing is White Crow like themed. So
Yeah.
like she's not the White Crow.
Yeah, see, bro, I'm telling you, I knew. I didn't even like think about this or whatever. I didn't even like notice that in the dialogue to think about it or whatever. But I was like, bro, what if this isn't actually the White Crow? And now it seems like that is kind of the case here with this dialogue.
Yeah, but it's just weird because she says the White Crow saved their life, and then like on the next page, Zonka says we found her. So it's
Right.
like maybe he wasn't listening to that part because I mean you can't always hear what's happening on stage very clearly when you're at a concert,
I
like if they
guess
talking
not.
and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, so it's just like maybe he just couldn't hear. But I mean, looking at her, I mean it's very
But that would
clear
mean
that anyone
nobody
would think,
heard because no one corrected him.
yeah, maybe not because I mean they are all talking and stuff too. Yeah, they're up here talking about shit or whatever. Oh man, that was sick. That was
Hmm.
sick. But I don't know. Want to see where that goes, and if she is not the White Crow, does she know how to find the White Crow, and how this is all gonna go? But then there's all this chaos in the background that we know is gonna happen. Like Zonka's brother's here, and Zonka's fucking old homegirl's here,
Yeah.
and how are things gonna go? Because this. They already did the concert and it ended. Like what's next?
Yeah, tension is growing in the background, like, you know, for this arc, like conflict is about to, you know, to start conflicting or whatever. But like it's just like so well presented in an arc like this to where it's like, yo, there's a lot of things distracting us in the foreground while things are kind of like bubbling up in the background. So it's like when the shit like finally does hit the fan, it's just like such a good setup for it, I want to say so far.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't wait to see whenever the that shit pops off, what
yeah,
form it'll
yeah.
take.
Think we should be getting. Don't think it's on break. Getting the chapter in a few hours, and
Uh,
then I want to say like Golden Week's coming up, but I think
no,
Weekly Shonen Mag usually goes. I think like Shonen Jump takes the like a week off for Golden Week, and then I think Shonen Magazine takes the following week. Like I don't think they ever like go on break at the same time, even though Golden Week is it's like a Sunday to Sunday thing. But I think one magazine doesn't do it on the same week that it actually happens on.
yeah,
So I think Golden Week's next week. So I don't know. We'll probably not get a chapter next week.
yeah. I guess we'll
For
see.
yeah. But that's it for me for this chapter. You got anything else for this one?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, that's gonna do it for Gachiakuta, chapter 134. Showtime. Now jumping into Ranger Reject chapter 175 and 176. Starting with 175, we got a color page and it's beautiful. Everybody out having a good time. This is I guess the return to school vibes or something. This is for the anime or
Yeah, didn't
whatever.
you? Oh, yeah, for the anime. I could have sworn there was like a pre. I think maybe it was Centuria. There was like a color page where they were like frolicking like on the beach or
Oh
something. Like,
yeah.
and you're like, bro, this is like not even the vibe of the arc right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could get surpassed, so he better.
yeah, for
Um
sure, for sure.
But yeah, I like what we got here. Interesting to see Sosei fucking buddied up with D. This is some alternate universe type shit or something because these
Yeah,
guys are clearly not homies, but do I want to see more colored images of Chidori because he's more like I'm looking at it and like Hisui's eyes are green and Usakubo she has the yellow or whatever in one of her eyes and D's are green for Sakurama and Sosei's are red but like Chidori's eyes it's like his color is faded or some shit like he
yeah. He's got like a
him is
deeper blue, like almost navy color to his eye.
yeah Suzukiri's are like straight black so it's like they're definitely giving off different vibes. Though at least those two, especially because they got like she's got like a super dark past, and then Chidori still don't know like his full story. I can't wait to find out like what all he really knows and like what he's been through or whatever. But like he's got the like dark lipstick or whatever and dark colors. He's wearing like I guess his vest is like green, but it's like barely green, and his
Yeah,
nothing about him like screams green.
yeah.
Like every other character has something that kind of like.
Yeah, him and Suzukiri seem to be like purposely like less vivid color wise, color palette
Yeah,
wise than like everyone else. Like everyone else kind of has like this very poppy, very like vivid, very loud, you know, color associated with them somewhere. But
yeah,
Suzukiri and Shidori seem to be like a lot more muted um in comparison, but very
yeah.
interesting. Like I just love the color story of the whole like of the whole color page. Like you got, I just like the way like the composition is just like fire to me. Like you have these fucking purple or I mean these pink flowers in the foreground, but they're blurred. And then you're like in focus with the crew, and then in the background it's like a completely different art style, like incorporating certain like watercolors almost in the
Yeah,
flowers
no
in the
doubt.
backgrounds too. Like dude, Negi's just so good at this shit.
Even in like some of the hair, like Suzukiri and Chidori's hair kind of look like there's some splashes of like watercolory, and I guess some of the
Yeah,
clothes. It's like on the clothes and stuff too. But yeah, it's just interesting to see it in a couple places. Like it's not like that on maybe it is on Usakubo's like skirt or whatever, but like not so much. Some of the it's just there's different like art styles being used here or
yeah,
whatever.
like some really cool techniques, like the lighting effects too, like in D or Sakurama's hair, and you got like some like negative space stuff going on. It's
Yeah.
just like it's just really good art, man.
Yeah. But moving into the chapter, we start off with jumping back to Yakeiko pulling up on Choco Bull. She's talking about she missed him and let's be one again. So we were saying like last time we were talking about like how this process might work, and it's like, oh, is it like a kiss or is it just a touch or something? It looks like she can't just do it because she, pulls up and she says like, let's fuse, let's be one again, but like it doesn't happen, and I don't know if like
Yeah,
I
there's
still
some kind of
wonder like,
condition there that Chidori's interrupting when he comes to and
yeah.
baps her with the hammer. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I guess maybe there is, maybe it does require both of them to be, awake or whatever, or like some sort of kiss, and she just didn't get the chance to do it or something. But yeah, Chidori just he appears and he's like, "What up, baby? Welcome to the show." Boom! He smashes her. I guess hits her. It looks like
down the
into the wall, but then
block.
she bounces into. Yeah, she's like bouncing off the. She's skipping, but like she's strong as fuck. Like how tough is she? Because like
At first, I thought he
Chidori.
hit her, and then she just, instead of crashing into anything, she just like opened up a portal and fucking like cushioned her the impact by just like going into a different space through the portal. But no, like I thought about it for like a second longer, and I was like, no, like she's clearly bouncing on like he hit something, and it's
Yeah,
skipping across the ground, creating explosions and shit. So yeah, she's just that tough.
yeah, because like I feel like whenever we see him hit some, like he hit Magatia with the hammer and it was lights out. He hit to fucking I forgot the fat guy's name. The
Oh
boar executive or whatever in the three-way battle arc. He hit the big one, and that was like game over or whatever. But I mean, I guess he hit the chick, the IRA member who had injected herself with the serum or whatever. He hit her and she didn't like die, but I think she like balled up and rolled around like a pinball or something to
mm.
kind of like eat the blow. But like yeah, I mean, I feel like hitting an executive with that hammer is probably gonna like or hitting an invader period should probably end their career. But
She
like
just seems
he
unfazed.
yeah, she doesn't look like she has any like damage on her at all, and she like just quickly rebounds with the portal and is like, "Yep, here's some shit, some scaffolding or something." Like she's just raining down the damage back on them, and
Yeah, and then she's
uh,
like aura farming in the next page, like next to Usakubo with the fucking crazy shadow shit.
yeah,
Like
that
that,
shit's
that
fire.
was such a hard panel. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's like I like how the portal kind of like gives off sort of like a halo type of vibe behind them. It's like
Mm,
so Usakubo, Angel Usakubo, but like it's Yuli Merida, and she's got like wings, and then there's like this fucking halo thing. I don't know, it's a lot of vibes going on.
yeah.
And so we finally meet the dog executive,
This
and
nigga's design is so raw, fam.
yeah, this is crazy. I'm getting like Casey Jones kind of vibes, or like just the dudes in like I don't remember like the gang, like the gangs that you see in like
The
TMNT that
purple
like Casey.
dragons.
Is it like they? I feel like they
That's
wear
his
these like.
gang. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I feel like they wear like these like kind of like shoulder pad type of things,
Yeah.
and fucking big boots or something. He got on like men's UGG boots or some shit.
Nigga got
Lots
J's
of
on.
lots of wraps, and I'm
He
like,
got
oh man,
dunks on.
yeah, and fucking Hisui, she's like, oh shit, fucking dog executive Rethadaya.
Dog niggas.
Dog niggas. Yeah, so this is cool. I love like this. I like this the shot, like the way it looks like he's just like walking like uphill. But I mean it's flat, but it's slanted or whatever. It's still
Yeah.
just I don't know, there's something ominous about like it just feels like he came out of nowhere. He's just like walking past her.
Yeah. It's a good
Like he
perspective. I
doesn't
think they call that like a
yeah.
Dutch angle or something.
That shit's fire. I like it. Yeah, it's just like he appeared out of nowhere and he's not even fucking phased or bothered. You don't care. He's just doing whatever he's doing. He walking past her, but
This
like
aura.
yeah, mad aura there. And then so this stuff going on with like Red and Soma. So like I remember a couple chapters ago, Sosei had like activated his suit, but like we're saying that that shouldn't be possible because he doesn't have a weapon.
Right.
Don't know if like maybe this version of Sosei is like perfected or something, so maybe he can still activate without needing the actual dragon tool. Because Suzukiri has the dragon tool, and like I think some people were saying like maybe Negi made a mistake and forgot, but like here Soma goes like, oh shit, I'm just in my tight suit, like I don't have my tool, I can't transform. So it kind of feels like it's reinforcing that like this
This is a
isn't a
different situation than
yeah,
yeah.
this isn't like a oopsie, like because Soma doesn't transform, and he even specifically says like I can't, I'm doing this in a tight suit, and it's tough. It's embarrassing to do it in a tight suit. So I
Yeah,
feel like there's
it's
something
in
going
the
on with just
dialogue.
like
They're saying it too. Like he doesn't have a divine tool. Like this is incredible, which is crazy. Like this nigga is really out here. If all he got is regular ranger gadget, like fighting an executive 1v1, like that's fucking raw.
yeah, he's supposed to have his like brass knuckles, but I don't know what's going on with him. Like maybe he just didn't have time to like equip him or something. But he's got like that weapon. But yeah, right here he's just using the like standard dragon tool or whatever
Yeah.
dragon gadget that they normally use. Um, and then I can't remember this guy's name with the scars on his face, the one that
Yeah,
looks
who
like
is she? Who's Shiganto
Jakutamaki.
Machi? Yeah, I was like, bro, who the
Yeah.
fuck is this nigga,
Um,
bro?
he's always been around. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Unga or something or Bunga.
Bunga
Z-
bunga.
yeah, it's some sort of like Ungazaki or something, Zakai Bunga or something. I had to look it up. But he was him and Tokita was cool. They like fought together in the three-way battle arc, and Tokita just kind of got a different like air to him. He's like, bro, I'm not like you weakling. I'm like, damn, bro, that was your homie.
Right. What the hell?
Um, yeah, but he's just super locked in more than usual. Hekaru's on his same bullshit. So with this clock though, I did look it up. They were saying like it's the snake is in the position, the fifth position on the zodiac or whatever, and I had looked it up, and so yeah, that is the thing, and like right next to. Let me see. I think I have it on my phone still. I was just looking
Yeah,
at it a
Negi didn't
minute
forget
ago.
shit. He's keeping track of so many crazy things.
Yeah, right after snake is horse, and before that is dragon. So it's like, okay, I guess these are all 12. So it seems like he is counting Chocobo and yeah, Keikokabe in this too. So I guess the goal is for them to die, which I guess would suck because they're cool, but
Right.
I mean they're fucking evil alien monsters. But like,
Hmm.
where does someone like Izome fit in? Because she's
Right.
not like an animal that they didn't give her like an animal or something. I guess Soma probably still has her hidden or something, so they probably don't know that she even is alive or whatever. But I don't know, just interesting stuff going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're talking about all the executives got to be all the executives have been resurrected, including Kisa and Runa. I believe every executive has been assembled here. This isn't a coincidence. It's the point. If we're to win, every executive has to be defeated before the clock strikes 12. And so this page 11, right behind fuck, I forgot her name. Uh,
Page
I forgot her name.
11.
Benny.
Oh, yep.
Right behind her on this TV, it looks like something's like sketching in, and then it's another executive like on the screen, like looking at them, type shit.
Yeah, which executive is this?
That's one that we've never seen.
That's Rooster Buddy?
No, hell no.
Oh,
Rooster
no.
is
Yeah,
Peltola.
Peltrola. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this guy is, but like he looks weird,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like I really want to know what's going on here because like a couple chapters ago we saw Wendy, and Wendy, people believe I'm of the same belief that he is the Ram executive, but like this guy is also here. But like based on the images that we've seen, like the silhouettes and stuff of Imamatai, the Ram, that didn't look like this. And then there was also like that crazy executive that was on the island in the Shinya flashbacks. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? We keep getting like new executives,
Yeah, it's
and
always
this
so
this
crazy that like a mangaka can like introduce like so many like moving parts to a narrative and have so much mystery like behind like all of these characters that are in place and all these pieces on the chessboard and have us guessing like what's this, what's that, and then like by the time like all of the questions are answered, everything's just makes like perfect sense. But in the
yeah.
moment, there's just like so much entropy and chaos that you're like, bro, how does this work? How is it going to make sense? And then it just does, and it's just like, holy fucking shit, you guys are different.
Yeah, there's a ton of moving parts here, and so like even on this page, like when we see whoever this Neo Ranger is, I think it's to be assumed that it's Hibiki, but I feel like it isn't because Hibiki on the previous page is like talking about what's going on. This isn't a coincidence. It's the point, and then like we see this new executive, a footstep, and then well, the footstep I think is whoever
Neo
this
Ranger
general knight
One,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, Yeah, but I feel like this might be D. I could be wrong, but like
Ooh, hold on.
yeah, like my first thought was that it was D just because we just saw Hibiki like talking to Benny like a second ago, and like it would kind of feel weird if like this is like an entrance. Like we already know that Hibiki is here, so we don't need to get his like entrance. It felt like
Right,
a
right,
weird
right.
vibe for this to be Hibiki like dressing up as the unless it's a different one, but I think they had numbers on them and number 1 was Hibiki.
I think so
Or
too.
or maybe it might have been Shippo, but this is way too small to be Shippo.
Right, not buff enough.
Yeah, so I feel like this is D if he's there already. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't even think about like where bro could be this whole time, but he sure ain't
yeah,
around.
because he's got to get there at some point. He can't not be there for the super Sunday battle, the
Right.
super sweet Sunday battle. But yeah, fucking Shinya watching, and he says he went out of his way to resurrect the executives, and he's still thinking about Sine. He got this like fucking shadows over his face or whatever. You don't get to end this. This is my story. So he's still salty about that shit in the
Yeah, he's
past.
trying to outdo her storytelling now, like when the fucking story has like gotten so far away from what it originally was, and it's like real life shit going down with characters that like, he created in reality instead of just in a TV show, and he's still just obsessed with that shit.
Yeah,
Like
can't wait
so
to
far
see like.
removed from the original rivalry, but he's just like still like steadfast on wanting to kind of like outdo his like rival author.
Yeah, it's crazy because like Shinya, like originally, like when he made the clones, he was like, "You do, what you want, and you do what's right." And it's like the one that's doing what he wants, he's still following the path of like wanting to be this like great author, but he also went with the like rank. So he's doing both things. Like that Shinya originally couldn't juggle being a writer and a ranger,
Right.
and like. He said like do the right thing and do what you want. And the one that he told to do what he wants, he's doing the things that Shinya couldn't juggle. He didn't like pick one. He didn't go like, okay, I'll just be a ranger, or like, okay, I'll just be an author.
Yeah.
He's still wanting to do both, but like now he's like the the that thought that crosses his mind where it's like, oh, I shouldn't do this. It doesn't exist anymore. He's like, fuck
Right.
it. If somebody gets in the way, like I'm gonna tell the best story, but I'm also gonna be the ranger and I'm gonna hurt and kill people. So it's like
Yeah, this is what
he
like original Shinya was struggling with, and that's why he like kind of like split his consciousness into like two, twin clones or whatever, and then one of those just like decide to be original Shinya anyway, and it's like, dude,
yeah, without the weakness and shit. He's just like, I'm gonna do what I was originally gonna do, but I'm not gonna like back down for any of that pussy shit.
yeah,
Not gonna let feelings and people like stop me from achieving this dream. And he sent the people to fucking kill Sine or whatever. So
yeah,
back in the day, so yeah, he's still on that shit. I would have thought that like I don't know, just like maybe he's focused on this Ranger stuff, but nope, he's still talking about this is his story and that's his baby.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Really interesting
just
writing that we're getting for Usakubo and the relationship with like her and Yula Merida with Chidori here, and it's like, yo, like I didn't. I mean, maybe this is rehashed information, or maybe this is new. But for executives to blend in as a human on the surface, there's two methods: you can skin a human and hide in their flesh, or you can enter them as a spirit and share their heart. Like she, this is like the second, like the latter version. I want to say inside
yeah.
of like Usakubo, but it's like, yeah, I'm still that executive, but I mean, Usakubo is kind of like taking over, consciousness wise. I'm just my consciousness is like, a candle in the wind basically. This is like really cool like information to get about, the situation with Usakubo, because that was always like kind of confusing to me from like the three-way battle arc storytelling. But now it's just like all like kind of like laid out, and like it's like, oh shit, like a duality of personalities in here fighting for, dominance inside of the body. And I guess I
Yeah.
must have like forgotten that or whatever, but like as
They
I'm,
definitely
yeah.
didn't mention that.
Oh,
They
okay.
never mentioned that. Yeah,
Just tight. It's just interesting.
yeah. It's interesting that like Yakekukab is like no when she says my body long crumble to dust. She's like no dot dot dot. Like she seems like sad about it, or it's almost like it feels like she was gonna say like no you couldn't have, or like how could you do a thing, but like Chidori cuts it off and is like, "Yeah, executives can do that. You know, that's something that they can do." And then they just continue talking, and like Yakeiko doesn't, or Kisa, Runa, I forget.
Yeah, Runa.
She's Runa. Okay, so yeah, she doesn't like say anything else. It's just like no, and then Kisu is my one and only. So yeah, they just start talking about like the things they care about, and so I guess Yula Merida just wants to back up Usakubo and help her like achieve her dream or whatever, a world where like people like Chidori and Shinya get to do whatever they want is like harmful to her, like I guess her daughter, you know.
Yeah.
As a mother, I'll protect my daughter. So it's like I can't let you guys do this foolery, and it's a danger to the body that I'm in, and also like this body that I'm in cares about this foot soldier D guy. So it's like gonna fuck with him. So
Yeah.
a lot of vibes going on, a lot of cool storytelling, and as usual, you got the whole you can do that thing here where it's like the monsters becoming more human and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and humans becoming monsters. The whole Hunter and what
The
you said it
meme.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about it earlier with Chainsaw Man.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting. Chidori is like, "Are you two really invaders? You both stink of humanity because they've been on this planet for so long without like being forced into war." This double page is fire.
So good, bro.
Yeah, like this is money,
This is
and
one
I
of the
feel like
best drawings that Negi has produced in the entire series for me.
yeah, and I feel like it's just a shame because this is probably not gonna like get animated well, if it even gets there. Like I haven't checked out season 2 yet. I'll probably watch it this week
Oh, is
because
that
they're
going?
2 episodes in. Yeah, two episodes in now. Episode
Oh
2 came out like
shit.
yesterday or something. And like I feel like they're pacing it quick. Like they had I mean, yeah, the opening is always just weird. Like openings for anime, like it's like yeah, it shows a lot of spoilers, but somebody who's anime only doesn't understand what's happening anyway. So it's like they
Right.
don't sometimes feel like they're getting spoiled. But they had like the Death Messiah in the opening several
Whoa.
times, and like
Whoa.
and Wally Palm was in there. They didn't show Magatia like at all. Like Magatia's like physical form was not. They showed the stairs and stuff, but they didn't show Magatia at all a single time in the opening. But they showed Wally Palm and they showed the Death Messiah several times. I'm like, what's going on? Because this is a 12 episode anime and it's starting off with a dreamy school. So like, this is weird. I'm not looking forward to it, but I gotta talk about it anyway. So I got some videos that I'm making about all that stuff soon. I gotta Ranger's back, so my personal channel has been getting a lot of views on Ranger videos in these last like 2 weeks. So I gotta get the
Oh
people what they're
yeah,
looking
get
for.
on there, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, but I guess we can move into 176.
Sure.
So yeah, Canon Hisui, age 11. Wasn't expecting to get a Hisui kind of backstory. I think we got hers before. I mean, it was a different part, but like I'm pretty sure we got a title that was like Canon Hisui. I think it was like age 3, 8, and 11 or some shit back then when we got it. But yeah, now we got age 11, and it's her fighting Rethadiah back in the day, the
Yeah,
original one.
this one tripped me the fuck out because like Negi Haruba doesn't use like black gutters for flashbacks, so I was
Yeah,
like, oh shit, what the fuck is even this is a different point in time. Okay.
yeah. So this guy's cool, and I like how it just seeing this, it just kind of further like shows that these the executives that they're currently fighting in the current timeline are like not legit or whatever. They're
Right.
like hollowed out or whatever. Because this guy, he's talking, he's sitting down, he's smiling and shit. He's like having this many people moving at once is bound to cause a jam, you idiots or whatever.
Yeah.
But like in the current time, none of the executives that they're fighting have said a word.
Right.
So it's like these guys have soul. They talk about that later. Something where she's saying, yeah, invaders have hearts just like those of humans. That's how they know how effective it is to hit them in that way. So this is a cool fight. I wasn't expecting this for like a dog. But none of the characters really. None of the executives really follow like oh, it's a dog, so it
Yeah.
has to go
Yeah.
wolf and carry a bone. But I
Yeah.
guess I,
Their abilities don't really match up with like the concept of their designs. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in this way, it's like it's carrying around. Like a dog would dig up something out of the yard and carry it around. So maybe that's what kind of
Sure.
is
There's
happening.
some kind of like, tether between the abilities and the animal that they represent, but it's not like in your face and like maybe like only Negi knows or whoever's the most locked in can like find that. It's not like explicitly stated like why this is dog like in any kind of way.
Yeah,
But
Yeah. But actually, so yeah, this starts. Yeah, it starts off because I was tripping. So in the beginning, it isn't the flashback. This is current time, because
oh,
it shows what's his name,
oh,
Takute.
right, 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 right. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
because
You're
it
right.
because it shows like
Tokiwa,
Sakurama. Yeah, and then I forget Wakaba. Yeah, it
Wakaba,
shows
Wakaba.
Wakaba, and then Tokiwa, and then D or whatever, or as Hibiki. So yeah, and then after that it goes to the flashback. But yeah, it's like, this is a cool power. Fucking, I wonder if he like does combat. Like, does he just like fuck with your mind, and then like when you get caught up, he like beats your ass or something, or does he let the doll like fight you or something? I want to see more of his like combat style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's like carrying around his doll, and then he unwraps, and it's like booga booga boo, it's your dead mom. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, nah, for real. What's his fighting style like? Because all we've seen him do is like dodge and take an attack that doesn't seem to have hurt him all that much, and then he like blows up the bridge and runs away.
Yeah, it's like, did he? I want to see how he caused this like traffic jam. Did he just like stand there and like everybody was like, "Oh shit, no," and then they crashed their cars, or did he like show them, sad images with the doll, and they
En
like
masse
were,
in their cars. Yeah, wow.
yeah, like he just like fucking mass genjutsu them or something, or
Uh,
did he fucking throw it at a car? Like, is this thing heavy? Did he punch the cars? I want to know how he caused this traffic jam.
yeah, for sure.
Um, um, But yeah, he's a cool design, and we see that, they're fighting him. They can't really deal with him, but he
Definitely
gets
my
out of there.
favorite executive design out of all of them, honestly. Like Peltrola is like really, really, really good too. I think Peltrola was my favorite before Rethadiah, but yeah, bro, just like so sick. And the way that the eyes are drawn is like very reminiscent of like, how dog or fox, just canine entities in general seem to get this aesthetic to a certain degree in these Japanese stories. Like it reminds me of like Cone in
Yeah,
in Chainsaw Man, and like I feel like they'd normally be getting these eyes.
yeah, canines and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dope. I think I just burped. I don't even remember. Excuse me, but
It's
that
getting
was
late.
random. Yeah,
We're
yeah, that
running
was
on
random.
fumes.
Yeah, the gas just got to come out. But yeah, I think still my favorite is the fusion, but Rather Die is dope, Petrol is dope. Oh, I think all the designs are cool. I'm still just that design that was in Shinya's lab was fucking cool. Just waiting
Yeah.
to see what some more of these guys look like. Like, we got some cool ones in the spread page like 2 chapters ago. So
Mhm.
hopefully hopefully some more of those characters get like backstories similar to Rethadiah like this. Like, if he's not gonna talk, then I hope like somebody sees like the aura farming spawn dude is like, oh, that's whoop de wop, and he remembers like back in the day when he was like beating people with arcade machines or something, some shit.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how this chapter kind of like shows us. I don't know if this is like the first meeting of Hisui and Chidori, but it's just cool showing us like the first time that Hisui realized that Chidori was Greenkeeper.
Yeah, this is definitely first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he like transforms, and he's like, oh shit, he's got like that squat, like I just got caught, like he just pulling his pants up type shit, like I
Yeah.
just took a shit. Chidori suiting up, she caught him. Um, but yeah, no, this is good stuff, and she's talking about like, my husband suddenly started acting different. He became someone else. His voice and appearance are the same, but I'm sure that he's someone else. And Chidori's just in there with Hisui. Is like, bro, like this dude, like, why are you letting this guy in your house? I mean, he said he was like an information broker, but it's still just funny that like Hisui's sitting next to this guy who is just, and then I guess like, it's like, yeah, informant. He probably he's not gonna do anything like malicious with this information, so it doesn't hurt, and
Right.
it's not worth like putting up a fight at this lady's house or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's cool that like there's an example here in their first meeting of, an instance of, invaders kind of like hijacking the body of like another human or whatever, because that's going, hand in hand with the dialogue that we got like in the previous chapter when, Chidori was talking to Runa and Usakubo about like this exact phenomenon here of like how invaders can kind of like body snatch or whatever, other humans and whatnot, which is like a core, concept in relation to Green Battalion specifically, because they're like the investigators. They're like, trying to get to the bottom of, like strange disappearances of people and how that's related to executives and invaders in general. It's like, and when some, body goes missing or someone starts acting weird, it's like called Green Battalion because they're like the detective battalion basically, and they, kind of like go behind the scenes. And this is just like information that's just like, um, specific to Green Battalion's area of work and research and whatnot. It's just cool seeing
Yeah.
their like first meeting in the field doing Green Battalion stuff. It's just all really good.
Yeah, and I like this conversation that he has with Hisui here, where he's talking about like she's saying like how they stomp on people's hearts like it's nothing. Only invaders, creatures without hearts themselves, could use tactics. And he corrects her. I mean not corrects, but he gives another perspective on the matter. He's saying like, you think so? I think it's the opposite or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Invaders have hearts just like humans. That's how they're able to do it. And she's like, what the fuck? Are you out of your mind? And then like he gives her a look like,
It's
yeah,
like,
it's
no,
just
I'm spitting right now. You just don't know. You're not hip. You're only
yeah.
11. Like,
Yeah, so it really like I know he's seen some shit, but I want to know what he's seen to like feel this way because he's still fighting, he's still killing the executives, but like he definitely was like when it came to like Magatia, he told Magatia like I was cool to let you like chill, but you're kidnapping kids and killing people and stuff, so it's like can't let you live, and when you committing these crimes, so it's like Chidori. It's like I really
I
want to
need
know
the
his story.
flashback. Yeah, I need the
Yeah.
Chidori age 5 like flashback arc.
Yeah, like cuz he seems like he's kind of like sympathetic towards them, but like he'll kill them if he has to, but you know, it's just weird stuff going on, but he's kind of like giving Hisui that like knowledge type shit. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they're not all monsters. I mean, he knows, I'm guessing at this point he knows that they like are actually humans that were turned into this. So it's like, I don't know, it's a lot going on with this character. We really need that age 5. We need to see the changed real fucking band or whatever we got going
Yeah.
on with Chidori.
We need to see what made him the character that he is soon.
Yeah, I need that. We'll get it in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the time to get it. And
Yeah,
then
definitely.
yeah, and then I feel like at the end, right before the last page, right, talking about did your husband work in that store? Did you and your husband work in that store together? He's looking at the picture. She said, yes, it's a small restaurant. The menu changes daily, but we barely scrape by. And he says he'll show up one of these days. It kind of gave me like Nanami vibes or
On
whatever.
God,
Nanami going
yeah,
to
I was just
the like
literally
restaurant
just thought about that
or
right before you
store.
said it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, are we gonna see that in some way, or like, are we gonna get like if Chidori dies, are we just gonna get a shot of like that girl, that lady, like at her store, and just like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to that man or some shit, like, I don't know. Well, this was also like years ago because Chidori, I mean, Hisui is 11, and I want to say it now. Hisui's probably like what 17, so this is like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, but yeah, good chapter. Wrath of Die is cool. And yeah, new chapter hopefully in a couple days because translation be how it be. But
And it's a great
can't
way
wait
to
to
stay in
see.
shape.
Yeah, what he said. Great way to stay in shape. Get you some of these shoes, some of these shoulder pads, and go tackle somebody on the highway.
Yeah,
But I think I'm spent out for this one. You got anything else?
I think I'm good too.
All right, that's gonna do it for Ranger Reject chapter 175 and 176. Kennen Hisui, age 11. Now jumping into Ichi the Witch, 31st Hunt Challenger. But before that, let's talk a little bit about last week since we skipped the week. We had sickness, break, whatever it was. Yeah, last week's chapter was I want to say it was kind of like a not exactly a turning point, but man, that shit I got the chills a
Yeah,
couple times.
last chapter
Like
was
that,
huge.
yeah, that was a mega chapter. A lot of crazy stuff like the Golconda, I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That it fucking peeking
Re-invoking
in
that.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's like banging the fucking the magic against the wall of the inside, and it's like it peeks back outside. It's like talking to her. She's like, what now? Real one's inside. Can't pull it out. It reminded me of what was that fucking thing? It was like Cities Haunted or something. I can't remember what it was. Fuck, I'll think of it later. But like she goes, "What now? Real one's inside," and he can't like pull it out, so she just fucking cuts that shit open.
Yeah, that was
And
sick.
Yeah, and then she's giving it the like dirty look because of how like terrible it is. Um, and just this backstory for the old dude, not old, but the guy was fucked up, and
Yeah, dude.
we
Oh my god.
learn the truth about this thing and how it takes people's pain and then gives it back and shit. And this is a crazy situation. Dude's about to kill himself when he gets his sadness back and shit, and it's just real real storytelling going on. And I saw a lot of people saying that they're really fucking with Goku Raku more
Oh, for
now.
sure, of course. This was always supposed to be the chapter that kind of like reinforced his motivations and gave us a better understanding of why he is the way he is and why he, wants to do what he wants to do. And it just hits so hard. It's a really good payoff for Goku Raku's build up.
Yeah, and then what's this magic called again? Joyous sorrow magic. Okay. I stand by Lord World Hater and their desire to erase humanity. I'm a human hater magic. And yeah, it's just son of a bitch. So somebody they gotta beat the shit out of him. So
And in this
this
chapter did also kind of confirm that this Bakugami magic has met the world hater or human or the god magic or whatever,
yeah,
because
you talking about last chapter or this chapter current?
the last chapter, because
Okay.
when he originally runs into um Descaris, he's like, why can I smell the world hater on you right now? So it's like
Oh
he
yeah.
has to have come, because we were asking that question, like, does he even know this nigga, bro? Like, is he just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah? And it's like, well, I mean, he recognizes the smell, so he has to have come in relatively close proximity to the world hater magic, at least at some point.
Yeah, true.
Hmm.
Yeah, if he was able to smell that scent. So it's like he kind of jelly now, bro. He like,
Yeah.
bro, how dare you? It's like that's my king, my goat, my god. How dare
Yeah.
you be in his presence without me? But yeah,
Right.
this guy or girl, whatever it is definitely a motherfucker. Like this fucking bouquet. The bouquets will be blood splatters. The music will be screams and howls. It'll be a parade of human cannibalism and death. The nightmare will become reality, and in
Every
every
single
single
last
last.
second of it, I will dedicate to
Yeah,
Lord Roy. Yeah, this is a real human hater magic. Like they've been
yeah,
talking about human hating magic like for a little bit now in this story, but this is a real one.
yeah. It's like the world hater or whatever, like the god magic. Like he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wipe out like all of humanity and shit. And it's like, okay, that's not as personal as this. This feels like you can feel this a lot more because it's like when you just wipe out the planet, it's like okay, I, the
Yeah.
I can't really feel it like that. But like when you make me like get to know some of these characters and show me people's like pains and struggles and shit like that hits more.
Hmm.
But yeah, last chapter was great, and looks like we're gonna have a Zoro moment. People were talking about, the fucking endure all of everyone's pain. Kuma giving Zoro the fucking pain, and he just takes
Yep.
that shit.
Nothing
So
happened moment.
yeah, oh no, but yeah, so jumping into the current chapter, looks like we get to see that Goku Raku did actually, he was drawing up the blueprints himself, and he ended up actually putting that shit on himself. We still don't know
Yeah,
about
this
his
raises a
spine.
lot of this. Yeah, we don't know about the spine, but like this chapter, like raises like a lot of questions about like how his magic items kind of like work like mechanically, I guess, because it's like, okay, so they're magic items to begin with, and then you are just like pounding them into your body. Is that like the activation condition that allows like a random dude to just like use magic, is because he hammered it into his body? Is that different than just like putting that shit on? Like what allows him to actually be able to use the magic associated with these magic tools? Because it's like
Yeah.
this is like a 6-year-old kid that's just like, yeah, I'm writing up the blueprints on how to, like, magic items even a man can use. I came up with them. Like, what do you mean you came up with them?
Yeah, you're
Like,
6.
yeah, like were they always magic and now you're just making them a part of you and that allows you to use them? Or did you design them from scratch and they became magic somehow? How is this working?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just like whatever, like he forced, like he put them in his body, like he like he hammered the fucking gauntlets into his wrists or whatever, and then like whatever, like maybe the back thing is kind of like powering it like a battery, but we
Yeah,
we just didn't see how that happens. But like I'm pretty sure they said like the magic items they take, it's kind of like you pour your magic into it. So I mean,
right.
men don't have magic, so
Exactly. So it's like, how are they fucking working? Like, is the condition that allows a man to use the magic item like the fact that you have to like hurt yourself or something? Like, what's the difference between him just putting that shit on and him actually like, cutting a wound open and putting the magic item inside of it? Like, I really need to know how that like works mechanically, power system wise.
yeah, I do think that this does answer why he's got the like poison around his body parts, like the areas where these things are. Like like his arms and shit are turning dark. I think it's because he's like straight put that shit in his body. Like
Yeah.
he pounded the nails into his body, and it's like
His
that shit
body's
is
just like rejecting the magical like quality or properties of it too, because
yeah,
there's like it's like in his bloodstream and shit. It's like lead poisoning if you get like graphite in your body.
yeah, but like fucking magic hyper fucking juiced up version of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, mom's here. She's cool and shit. Right? Yeah, this is mom. No, this is not mom. I'm tripping.
Where?
Goku. Wait, is it? Hold on. Yeah, mother. Look on the first page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yep, yep. That's Mom
yeah, and
Dukes.
then yeah, and then we see the moment like when he gets pissed because like the sister is like, no, I'm taking these flowers for Lord Bakugami, and it's like, bro, what? Our
Yeah.
mom's dead, and she's like, I'm not sad about that anymore. So
So his
yeah,
backstory is kind of in line with like, predictions that we made when his character was first introduced about why he's so adamant on, going against the grain in this community of people who like seem to have come to worship Bakugami because he was the odd man out. He was the only one that didn't hug him and get, his sorrow taken away, and he's mad because like everyone else in the community started getting weird and started getting like, fanatical, and
your
kind of like
voice
it.
cut out.
It's in line with what we were saying in previous reviews about how he was like the odd man out when it came to like everyone like developing this like fanaticism for Lord Bakugami and like adhering to this like kind of like dogmatic like Bakugami is the one and only like our god, like we have to worship him, like like hardcore fanaticism, and he was like the only one that kind of like went against that grain because he kind of like saw firsthand what it was doing on a personal level when it comes to, his, sadness related to the death of his mom. And he saw, he was like, well, yo, my sister doesn't even care about my mom right now. Like, y'all all think it's cool that you could just hug this thing and not be sad anymore. But like, this is affecting me directly because like me and my sister share this point of trauma in our lives from our mom passing, and now my sister doesn't even care anymore. So it's fuck all of y'all. Something is very wrong here. You guys
Yeah,
like just kind of want to be numb to whatever pain you were going through, and you jump at the opportunity to kind of like hug this thing and get your sorrow alleviated. But like nah, like this is like fishy to me. And like we were talking about this exact situation. We didn't know it was specifically because his mom died and now his sister doesn't care about it anymore. Like that's new information, but we had definitely talked about the possibility that he was the only one that didn't kind of adhere to that community aspect of all loving Bakugami, and he kind of like decided like, yo, it's weird that you guys are all worshiping this thing. I don't. You guys need to snap out of it. This isn't right. Like we definitely like kind of like guessed his whole
yeah,
backstory in that way.
yeah. We were on that money.
I don't know if it was obvious or not, if everybody was like supposed to kind of like come to the same conclusion before we got the new information about like why it matters to him so much specifically with the mom passing, but it's just cool to see it unfold the way that it kind of did. We
Yeah,
definitely already had conversations about his motivations and how he came to have them long
yeah.
before it was confirmed or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder where his character will go after this arc. So, like, once he does finally get his revenge and stuff, like how he will act or whatever, and what his, I mean, he'll probably just follow the whole like magic's so bad, and I want to like help kill them all type shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I definitely think that after the Bakugami stuff is kind of resolved, there will be like writing dedicated to, new motivations for Goku Raku after the defeat of Bakugami. Because like without that, it's just like, okay, the whole point of my character has kind of been resolved. Now what? But so there's obviously going to be like, oh, you shown me that you know, there's more to live for than just getting revenge on this Bakugami character in one way or another, and he'll just like stay with the crew.
Yeah. Excuse me, but yeah, this thing's fucked up, man. It pulls out the like he says he'll take the pain, he'll take the sadness, and fucking it's like okay, here's the roulette wheel, and it pulls it out, and fucking Gokuraku and fucking Discaris, dumb witch, they take up like a tenth of this thing, and the rest of it is his sister. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a fucking son of a bitch, and he's like, "Fuck you!" I said I'll do that shit. Smashes the clock, and then he's like, "But the rules don't care." He don't give a fuck, yo. He's
He's
just
like, I'm about to just
definitely a
fucking
piece of shit.
jaw your ass until you tell me I can be the one to do it.
Yeah, and he's strong as fuck. He's just beating the shit out of this thing, over and over. He's like, the punches doesn't stop until you say yes. He's like, bro, but like you literally can't do it. Like, are you, I can't. You're a guy. Like the trial doesn't mean shit, but he don't care. I'm just beat the shit out of you over and over and over and over, and this shit's never gonna end.
And then here comes Ichi. So you think Ichi's gonna be the one that actually like does it, or
Uh,
because it's like I want to say that, you know, it's only going to happen to one person thematically, you know, and narratively it makes sense that Goku Raku would be the one to do it because it's either him or Descaris or Richia. So like obviously you want it to be Goku Raku because that's going to be like good for his character to take on the entire community's pain as like the outcast that everyone kind of hates because, you know, he's going against the wishes of their god or whatever. So it's like, oh my god, holy shit, you did this for us when we all hated you, you know, type shit. So like that makes sense narratively for Goku Raku to be the one to do it. But
yeah,
it's like he can't acquire the magic even if he does do it, right? So like, is he going to take all 10 years of pain and then not get the magic? Like, I feel like the magic has to be acquired at the end of the day, but it's like, then Ichi or Discaris would be the one to do it. And if that's the case, like, do they even want this nigga as a magic, bro? Like, he kind of fucking sucks, you know? Like,
yeah,
I can't see Ichi like acquiring the magic and then, you know, he's just a part of the team after that. Like, this dude is a son of a bitch. Like, I want this motherfucker like dead or dispelled or whatever instead of acquired. You know what I mean? So it's like really interesting how this can kind of like play out because I definitely like this is a one-time thing that this trial is going to be because, you know, if Goku Raku takes it and doesn't acquire it, then like you can't just build up 10 years worth of, you know, shit to be absorbed again after the fact when it's only like 5 minutes later. So it's like who is going to do it? And it's
yeah.
just
Like even if he did, like even if he was able to take the trial, like the end goal of that is like defeating it and then like taking it for yourself. So it's like, does he want it? Like, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
why would he want it?
Right.
I guess maybe so he can just summon it and beat the shit out of it whenever he gets pissed, just type
Right.
shit. Like
And then there's
he's
the
just
question like, okay, Ichi's here. Like, is Ichi going to do it? Like, that doesn't feel right, like thematically or like narratively. Because
yeah,
like
yeah.
Ishi's just like a random person in this conflict compared to Goku Raku or Richia or I don't know. It's very hard to see what the future like looks like for this conflict resolution, honestly. But
Yeah,
I know the Nishizaki team got it, but I'm just like factoring in all of the logical routes and all of them feel kind of awkward storytelling
yeah. I
wise.
mean, I guess as far as the trial being completed, it's like, yeah, he shouldn't be able to do it. But like, I mean, we saw that the magic gave some of the sadness back to that one man, so it should be able to distribute sadness to Goku Raku. But like,
Yeah.
enduring it wouldn't do anything in this
Wouldn't
case.
yeah,
Like,
wouldn't, you know, complete the trial and have him acquire
yeah,
Bakugami. Yeah.
it wouldn't satisfy that condition, so it would still be there. So it's like, what does that do? Yeah, I can't wait to see like how this goes because like, yeah, Ichi's. I can't see them like I can't see Ichi like getting another like human hater magic. And it's like, what? How could this thing benefit them when they do? When if it does get acquired by someone, how would they be able to use that to their own benefit? Unless it has some other like way of fucking doing stuff. Like
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
some
Maybe
other
they.
ability that we don't
Yeah.
know yet, or maybe like if Ichi or Descaris does acquire Bakugami, one application of it could be to, you know, take the sorrow or sadness away from, you know, another character that does need that sadness or whatever taken from them, and then they give it to like an enemy. You
Yeah.
know, if it, for in the form of like sadness, damage, or whatever, in like a later conflict, like maybe a new character is introduced later that like really can't get over the death of like their dead puppy or something, and so Bakugami, you know, Descar summons Bakugami, has has the character hug Bakugami, gets the sadness taken away, and then later on there's like a conflict against like a new enemy, and they're like, here's the sad puppy damage.
It's just weird to have like to use it because it's like you that sadness you kind of need that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like
Yeah,
the whole point of this arc. So
yeah,
it's
it's like
like yeah,
amoral to like take, you know, that shit away. That's like kind of like the whole point, like the theme of this is like no matter how sad you are about something, like you need to hold that down because it's, you know, all a part of your growth as a person, and you don't want those memories taken away because we're seeing the effects of that in Richi's character. It's like, yeah, it's like a relief in the moment, but like at the end of the day, it's like you want to have that sadness for memory's sake. Like these are people that like meant something to you. You shouldn't just like have that completely removed from your memory or your heart or whatever. Like that's like the whole
yeah,
point of the story arc right now. So yeah, whoever acquired, like this is just awkward like all around. Like I don't know what it's going to, but I mean that's what we know, that they have a plan for it that's going to feel good at the end. So I'm excited to see
yeah,
like what that storytelling looks like, but I just can't, you know, wrap my finger around the point yet exactly.
yeah. But in the meantime, it's cool that so I'm guessing like while he's beating the shit out of the magic on the ground, like it just kind of like respawns behind like a mirror up in the ground, or not a mirror, but another like roulette wheel, and that's what's going on. Then Ichi just slams on top of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool that they're both just kind of jumping from the fucking shark and landing on this thing and just fucking him up mid conversation. Like he's talking, just like smashes on his back. It's like, yo, this the guy that you want to kill, beat his ass. So
Yeah, and I
it was
just
cool.
love this as a concept in Ichi that like if you don't, you know, satisfy the conditions for acquiring the magic, you can just like fuck them up infinitely, and like they feel
Yeah,
that and it hurts, you know what I mean? Because then when you introduce a character like this that you just want to see get fucked up, it's like now, you know, there's like a perfect concept for just giving us the satisfaction of watching them get hurt without just outright defeating them and acquiring them or whatever, because
yeah,
it's
'cause
like, yeah,
his face is like peeling off and shit. He's like,
yeah.
what is wrong with you?
It's
What are you
like,
even
yeah,
doing?
suffer, nigga. You know, because if this was like a character like, you know, Bakugami that we've seen from the last chapter, and we
Wait, your
like,
voice cut out again.
yeah, if this is a character that we're supposed to hate and, you know, think is, you know, this incorrigible douchebag that we want to see get like beat up, like it would be like super unsatisfying if, you know, we get all of that writing for why he sucks and like wanting him to get, you know, hurt the way that he does in this chapter, but that concept isn't baked into Ichi the Witch to where that allows, you know, Goku Raku to just like infinitely fuck him up without like killing him or outright defeating him or whatever. It's like if we get
Yeah,
all that writing for him and then suddenly he's just like defeated and acquired, like that's not satisfying enough. Like we need this concept that allows us to just keep whooping him over and over again for satisfaction reasons, is the point I'm trying to make here. It just
yeah,
feels
for
really
sure.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not cheap, and it's like, wow, he really deserved worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want him to get off too easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, great chapter. I think I'm spent on this one. You got anything else?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so that's going to be it for Ichi the Witch 31st Hunt Challenger. Now jumping into Astro Royale, Chapter 50, Destruction and Hope, End, the final chapter.
Finally.
Our chains are finally broken.
Breathe.
It's over. So
It's so over.
yeah, so this shit was booty cheeks.
Yeah.
It had potential, but as usual, potential isn't. It doesn't really mean anything if you can't do shit with it. And I think these mangaka need to learn that like big punch main character can only get you so far. You really just gotta give them more. Like Ayashimon had the same thing. Maruro just punched stuff, and it was like, okay, but what else can you do?
Hmm.
Fucking Hibaru, he just punched stuff. What else can you do? He can punch stuff some more. Every other character was more interesting than him, and it just needed more. So hopefully, the next person who has a big punchy main character decides to give them something more,
A little
and
bit more
give them,
creativity
yeah,
needs to be, you know, set up and fleshed out in the mind of the author. You know, if you're going to go big punch main character route, you need to have, you know, a couple more things associated with that, whether it's just like creativity in, you know, the strategy, of how he uses that punch to spice it up and make, you know, conflicts unique and different from one another from battle to battle. There's definitely a lot more you can do with a character whose main power is just punch hard. But for some reason, you know, some of these mangakas seem to just try to rely on that and give them good dialogue next to the big punch, and that's just like not good enough, clearly.
Yeah, and then just there was a lot of stuff that with this arc. I wonder when the call was made that like, hey, yeah, you go ahead and wrap it up. I feel like it was like when the tournament started, and the tournament was kind of like the last ditch effort.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like,
oh,
but wait, wait,
hopefully
wait,
people
I'll do a
really fuck
tournament
with
then.
it.
I'll do a tournament.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that had to be what happened because like the fucking no, none of the characters in the tournament were likable. I didn't care about any of them, and then they skipped the one guy twice, and then like Tendo just shows up and he becomes Cthulhu God monster angel beast,
Yeah, we just
and
never
it's
even
just
saw Shio again, dude. What the
yeah.
fuck?
Shio never showed up. I think they said it. Maybe is it here? It's not here, but apparently there's going to be an epilogue or something
Oh,
in the
okay.
volume that's coming out in like a month or two. So there it'll probably have the Shio stuff there. But yeah, it's weird that like Shio just doesn't show up at all, and instead we learn about just alien meteorite sister
Yeah.
later.
This
like
reminded me a lot of Fudo Mio O in Samurai 8. They kind of like introduce this like, you know, cosmic alien god deity situation towards the end of Samurai 8. And then, you know, when everything was wrapping up, we like went into space just like this with what was Samurai Naruto's name in that Hachi? Yeah,
Hachimaru, I think.
Hachimaru, yeah, Hachimaru had a very similar like dream sequence in space like this with Fudo Mio O towards the end of Samurai 8 as it was getting axed.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like excuse me. I feel like some of this information probably could have been done earlier. I mean, it's obvious that like the intention was for us to find out this stuff like later down the line. Like the secret to the Daybreak Ore was that it was this girl. Like they experimented on her and turned her into this fucking this like bio weapon or whatever. But
Yeah,
like
which then made like Tsubasa this like brand new character that we were supposed to obviously learn about like a lot later. His, you know,
yeah,
he ended up like, you know, really loving her and getting a connection with her, and then, you know, dad Yotsurugi like sent her off to Area 51 or some shit, and she got like dissected, and they did, you know, government shit to her, and he like crashed out and like caused the whole, you know, starting conflict for the premise and whatnot. Like it's just obviously has to be rushed in so that Ken Wakui can be like, this is what I was going to do, okay? This is what it was supposed to be.
yeah, yeah. No, but it just didn't hit, and then they big bad guy goes big form, and everyone pulls up for the "we're all here" moment, and they smash him, Hulk smash, overpowered, big blast attack or whatever, and come on everybody, we've got a lot to do. So gang's all here. We're gonna how did Terrazano even get here? I fucked with him, but like just characters are just pulling up, and we get introduced to these two people in the flashback that just never got mentioned. I don't know. This series had riders, and
Yeah, it
somehow,
did.
yeah, I don't know how, but people were really shooting for this shit. And then the one dude was talking about this shit. Like he was like, if Ichi the Witch doesn't get axed, then Astro isn't either. And I'm like, bro, you cooked. You're toast.
Wow. It's
So
giving Black Clover fan. But
yeah,
yeah, sorry.
yeah,
Sorry, Astro Royale lovers. This shit is buns, and it doesn't hold a candle to things like Ichi the Witch or Kagurabachi or any of the things that actually ended up surviving in the
yeah.
magazine. Whether you like it or not, this shit is very axy from a while ago in the
Yeah, he
storytelling.
tried. I feel like like just because you got a hit with one like thing like the delinquent genre or whatever doesn't mean like you should follow that up with like the same thing. So I think if Kinwakui, if he returns to Jump or whatever, he just goes for something completely different. Not like this whole like gang or yakuza or mafia or anything like that, and he doesn't do like another big punch thing. Like I don't know, get more
Or
creative here,
just
get
like do
loose.
whatever you want to do, but like not in this magazine. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
go stay in Weekly Shonen magazine and write your, you know, your little delinquent yakuza story, because that's where that kind of stuff survives longer, apparently.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just like there was times where his writing was good here, but it just this tournament and the fucking cop arc was not it.
Right.
So that was that chapter. I think I'm squeezed out for good. Yeah. So,
No
any
more
last words
toothpaste left
for
in the tube.
Fart Stroke Royale?
Ass Cheeks
Yeah, that
Royale
shit
came and
is.
went. Very disappointing because, yeah, I don't know. It started. I really liked the premise. We got one like mad decent arc that made me excited for the future, and then it just tapered off into to butt strokey ass cheek garbage, dog water.
Yeah, butt strokey ass cheek garbage. Yeah. Sorry, listeners, if you fucked with it.
I'm
Just
sorry, bro, but yeah, like we just were not. It was not giving for
yeah,
us, for us.
yeah. We gave it 50 though. We didn't drop it prematurely. We gave it the full shot. Rode it to the end. Rode the fucking the vehicle to the wheels fell off, and they fell off. But yeah,
It's
that's
like
gonna
that
do it.
scene. It's like that scene in Family Guy where Peter goes to buy the car and like the gold tooth car salesman is like, yeah, this is like the car from fucking Mission Impossible, or this is James Bond's car, and he's like, Lois, we gotta buy it because it's James Bond's car, and then they start driving it and it like starts falling apart, and it was like, well, yo, why did you buy this car? It doesn't even have an engine. It's just a drawing of an engine. Oh,
But
literally. Anyway, yeah, I'm done.
yeah, that's all, folks. That'll do it for Astro Royale, Chapter 50, Destruction and Hope / End the finale. Now jumping into our final series of the night, Kagurabachi, Chapter 76, Banquets. Peak fiction.
Oh yeah.
Hokuzono has been fucking delivering top class, exquisite taste, deliciousness. My taste buds cannot be more pleased with these chapters.
Big eatery.
Um, yeah, I can't leave the fucking the restaurant. It's just I'm glued here. Like I'm just gonna get fat. Just
Yeah.
stay here,
Fuck
eat
it.
everything. It's good. So just starting off here, I was a little confused. Not really confused, but just Hirohiko, he looks at Chihiro and sees that like he's using Nishiki to strengthen his ears or whatever to counter Banquet, and he goes like, "So Samura's your real opponent." It's like, maybe I missed it. Like, yeah, but like, why is he saying it? Like, what about Chihiro being here to fight him says that like Samura is his opponent? Because like he clearly came here to face you, unless like you're thinking that Chihiro is like not taking you serious, and it's just
Yeah,
like
I think that's definitely what
posing.
it is. Because like now that Samura has kind of joined the conflict, Hirohiko can just kind of like feel it instinctively, probably that Chihiro is just kind of boxing him for the moment because he's in front of him, but is really trying to get to Samura.
Okay, yeah, it's like you don't got that same like I want to kill you like look in your eyes when you look at me.
Yeah, he
It's
seems
like
like distracted, like he's like, okay, I got to deal with this and then get to Samura. He can like feel that in Chihiro. It's not the same as when before Samura showed up and they were fighting.
gotcha. Yeah, I can see that then. But yeah, he really wants this shit, yo. And he's looking at him, eyes wide open, just covered in blood. He's like, bro, I gotta that settles it.
Yep.
Gotta kill Samura if I want this kid to fight me fucking for real, yo. And
Yeah. I
it's
love the
like,
first dialogue that we get in this chapter that says the enchanted blades have a true realm that transcends theory. The theoretical limits can be infinitely transformed by the bearer, and then we kind of see that from Hirohiko later on in the chapter, like a couple pages later, where it says apart from the Shinichi, the enchanted blades have three main abilities. Of Kumayuri's abilities, Banquet causes hallucinations. Play enables the user to freely control the objects around them, and then the corpses kind of like start to raise up to be manipulated. And Chihiro's like, corpses. Hirohiko thinks of corpses as objects. What a harsh way of looking at things, which is a direct, I think, tether to the first line of dialogue in the chapter, talking about the theoretical limits of the enchanted blades and how they can be infinitely transformed by
yeah.
the bear. So basically, based on your perception of what the ability entails, you can have like different applications and different outcomes of the manifestation of the technique, which reminds me a lot of like Undead Unluck negation abilities kind of being based
Yeah.
on how you kind of interpret what the ability means and how that can evolve over time based on your perception of the technique at hand, which is just really cool to see in a story like Kagurabachi.
For sure. Definitely immediately thought of Undead Unluck and just
Hmm.
like, okay, so how can other characters how would they use this blade? Like if Uraha would have, had the chance to use this blade, like how would he have done it? And, would he have done, would he have used dead bodies or just like pots and pans and shit and tables and chairs, or would he also have fucking picked up dead bodies? Or, it
Right.
seems like maybe not. Chihiro is thinking that like this guy's kind of sick for doing this, but
Yeah, because like
um,
Hirohiko clearly sees like dead bodies as just like nothing burgers of matter.
yeah,
No different than like a chair or a spoon. You know what I mean? Like what a normal sane person would think of as an object. As the key word here when using this
yeah,
ability would be like just random books on a bookshelf or fucking random utensils in a kitchen. But to a character like Hirohiko, it's like dead bodies are just as inanimate and random of objects as, you know, everyday appliances or whatever, which is just like does a lot for his character, I want to say.
yeah. And this sword, these abilities are just like perfect for his character because he's doing this shit with like these hallucinations and throwing off his equilibrium and shit. He's like flipping the hallway, and it's like here Hiko already fights by like flipping
Disorienting the
around,
opponent and
tossing,
yeah, and
yeah,
having them guessing
passing the
where attacks are
sword.
going to come from and yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect for him. Like this guy is really dangerous if he makes it out of this. Like I don't think he's gonna die, but just like the more he like fucking experiences battle and gets to like taste these abilities and shit and flex, he keeps getting better. He's just a character that grows. It's good to see that like he's getting his growth, but he is also getting his licks. Like he's getting his ass beat. He
Yeah.
knows that he's already lost twice. He's bleeding out of his mouth. He's holding his chest, but it's just like he's just he's locking in. It's
Yeah,
like fuck
we
it.
we
I just
initially made comparisons to Hirohiko and like Mahito from like Jujutsu Kaisen, like, oh,
yeah.
it's Mahito at home, but it's like, hey, this nigga Hokuzono keep doing this. This nigga gonna be damn near better than Mahito by the end, bro. I swear to God,
Yeah, he getting there. And just
he's
like
well
this
on his
shot
way. Yeah,
this shot where he's like, I need to kill Samura, and then he's like fucking overlooking the hotel. That shit's fire. I love this shot. I don't know like what they call this, but like it's like he's looking at it like a chess piece or something, like maybe a piece on a board or something. I don't know. It's cool. This he's just like overshadowing the entire building, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah. The paneling is fucking amazing in this chapter, honestly. It's like
yeah,
from
a
like
lot of
all of
these like wobblies.
yeah, like the to show the manipulation of the senses from Samura's perspective and like I don't know, just like compositionally, the paneling is some of the best that we've seen in the series by far.
Yeah, it's crazy that these hallucinations are like working on him too. Because like when I imagine hallucinations, I like imagine that like I see these things like my eyes are open, so like
Yeah,
you appear as a hot dog in front of me instead of who you are. But Samura's eyes are closed, so it's like these images are like projected into his fucking brain.
yeah,
It's
because it's
not.
not just manipulating the eyesight, right? Like this is like I don't want to like say that it's like Kyoka Suigetsu or anything like that. It's not like perfect hypnosis, Aizen and Bleach or whatever. But I mean, like it's not just sight. Like it's his hearing and his sense of smell and
Yeah,
his sense of touch and whatnot too. So it's like whatever way that Samura perceives things can be manipulated, just like our sense of vision can as people who aren't blind. So it makes sense.
yeah. I just never. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where like a blind character is hallucinating. So it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
that
That is new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like normally, you get a situation where, like I said, with the hot dog, it's like, oh, what you like? Like a character will be like so high or something, they'll take like fucking LSD or some shit.
Right.
That's type of like hallucinations I'm used to seeing, but in this case, it's like he's seeing these images and scenes flash upon his in his mind and shit, and he's like, seeing his daughter wiping fucking the shit off the walls and the hair in the shower and stuff like that. So yeah, this is really fucking with him, and um, it's like yeah, he appears back in his crib like in the hallucination or whatever. It's like right outside of Iori's like room.
Mm-hmm.
And, scared that she's he's gonna open the door and find out that she's like hung herself. It's crazy that this is affecting him this way, being blind.
It's feeling a lot like now that we have the new Ranger chapter, like it feels like a lot like God, what's the dog executive's name that we were literally just talking
Oh
about?
yeah, Rethadiah.
Rethadiah. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's almost kind of like because just the way that it's affecting the memories specifically. Like this isn't just, obviously Hirohiko doesn't, know Samura's
Yeah.
backstory to the point where he can like purposely project Iori's room and his like, fear of like walking in and seeing that she's hung herself. Like he doesn't know that about Samura's character. So like this is like specifically attacking areas of the memory in the characters that it's affecting to produce a specific vision that doesn't need to be known by the wielder of Kumayuri, which is just really fucking scary and broken of an ability that it can attack memories like that, as well as kind of fuck up your senses of what you're actually seeing. Like it's just like an insane ability. I don't know how to say exactly what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
but
It's one of them set it and forget it moves. Like you can just do
yeah,
this and make his escape, and like Samura just has to deal with like this fucking onslaught. And it reminds me of like the Gojo prison realm situation where it's like so much shit, so much time is happening in like a minute or whatever. Like 10 seconds have passed, but to Samura it probably feels like hours because he's like fucking stressed and having to protect his real daughter, like who's really there, and he's like thinking about her like possibly killing herself and the stuff that he's put her through and shit like that.
right.
It's a lot. He's like I said, he's Samura's heart is twice as sensitive as a normal person. That's why I'm attacking his psyche to the max, investing copious time and energy to drive him into a corner. And it's working,
Yeah,
but Samura different.
very different. And
Yeah.
I love how Chihiro knows too. He's like, fucking after the fatal wounds kind of like come in on Samura, I'd turn that page and I was like, oh, no, he got him. He fucking caught
Yeah.
him. There's no way he can live through 19 impalings at once through the fucking torso. I was like, damn, bro. He really did. He's like, that's what you get. You should have focused me. You should have squared up like I wanted you to. And Chihiro was like, bro, did you think my nigga was not? Bro, hold on. You gonna underestimate Big Dog like that? So like Chihiro like definitely like knew about Suzaku, right? As an ability.
Yeah, because
Had to have,
I
right?
mean he would already he knows the abilities of all the swords, but also like I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
like this is what was used to
Oh,
resurrect
to
him.
resurrect
So
him. Yeah.
yeah, so that just kind of goes back to like the thought like maybe Uraha is still alive. I think somebody said that he didn't use his own sword when he killed Uraha. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, I definitely think that like this is a like ever since we saw like crow or owl in the sky, I was yeah okay. So he his bird abilities and like when they showed Chihiro like waking up after being like cut down by dude, I was like okay, so it's a phoenix. So I'm thinking that this is his every sword has the three abilities like they said. We knew that, and then so his are crow, owl, and Suzaku. But Suzaku, I'm guessing, is the name of a phoenix for rebirth and
Yeah, it is.
restoration or
Mm-hmm.
reincarnation or whatever. So yeah, so he can do that shit on himself,
Yeah, and
obviously.
I've seen a lot of people like interpreting this like last splash page where he's like, "That's enough out of you," and they're like, "Oh, he's fucking opening his eyes, he's healing his blindness, or whatever." I definitely, and I think you also agreed that that's not we don't share that interpretation of what's
Yeah,
happening here. I definitely don't think that he's now that his eyes are open, he's like able to see. I don't think that. I feel like the Suzaku healing is more for damage that he takes, like in the fight at hand to heal from that. Like his blindness has to have been however long ago that he self-inflicted that or whatever. And I don't think the healing aspect of this technique can go back that far. I
yeah, I don't think
definitely
he's gonna be doing that.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it'd be like the All Might situation where it's like All Might got wounded 13 years ago, and it's like okay, Ares just heal that, and it's like nope, couldn't do it.
Right, exactly. So I definitely, I mean, it could be wrong, obviously, could be able to see, but I just feel like we've seen blind characters open their eyes for one reason or another in stories like these, and they've just stayed blind. Like one that comes to mind is like fucking
Yeah,
Kamugi in Hunter x Hunter. She like opens her eyes to play Gungi, even though she's still blind, and like she has an ability directly related to playing the game, and it didn't give her eyesight back. She just like opened her eyes for you know, whatever reason, but that didn't mean she could see shit suddenly or whatever. So I definitely don't think that that's what's happening here
yeah,
until Hokuzono obviously like confirms that in some kind of way. I'm definitely in the camp that this is just like rawness. I mean, like he's just opening his
yeah.
eyes. It's like a serious moment where it's just like aura. I don't want to
Because
say it's
I feel
just
like,
aura, but like it's definitely
yeah,
not eyesight. I don't care until
I feel like that,
yeah,
if it healed his eyes, that kind of just takes away from like his character, where it was like he did that to himself so that, as a punishment or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
It's like,
I don't think he rolls that back for even like a situation like this. Like I definitely think it's just not that. I don't know.
yeah, it's like if it does, like, what is he? Just he goes like, all right, job's done. Cut my eyes again. Like, what is
Right.
he? What does he do? I don't know, but yeah, this is raw. Love Chihiro going like, why? When he's like, all right, it's all done. Come at me, bro. Chihiro's why? Dot dot dot. Like,
Wait.
why would I do that?
Oh yeah. Why?
It's just a funny response. And then how could you underestimate a master? Like, if the why killed me, bro.
Oh
Like,
yeah. No, that reminds me. Have you ever seen The Mummy or The Mummy Returns?
no, I haven't. I never got into those movies.
Oh man, there's like a scene in The Mummy Returns where like there was like a because it's all about like resurrecting this like ancient mummy for like one reason or another because he has like fanatical like worshippers or whatever in the present day, and like the main like glazer of Imhotep in the second movie like gets the scorpion gauntlet to go like reawaken the Scorpion King, and like he like puts his hand in like the hole and it like fucks his hand up, and then the Scorpion King like awakens and like grabs him to like kill him, and like Imhotep like runs by, and his glazer's like, yo, Imhotep, help me, bro, please help me, and Imhotep's just like, why? And then just like keeps running, and then the Scorpion King like eviscerates him.
Right.
Anyone who's seen that movie, like, say something in the comments so I know I'm not alone. Anyway,
No one.
people have seen that
No.
shit.
No comments.
Niggas have seen. Someone had, bro. I feel like the most people who watch I feel like we have the most Kagurabachi fans out of any other like segment on our show. Like somebody in the Kagurabachi fan base that tunes in has seen The Mummy. So let me know. Anyway,
If you were one of the people who contributed to the Mummy going fucking double plastic in theaters, let Knox know.
nah, man, come on. Those did really good. Now you must have made me look up the box office numbers for that shit. Put some respect on Brendan Fraser, bruh.
Nah. I heard a lot. I knew a lot of people that watched them back in the day. I just never
Yeah,
got into it.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a dope chapter. I really like this page of Hirohiko like fucking, I guess, jumping backwards in the hallway, going, "I'm the one who's free. I'm the only one who's free."
Yeah,
So
that's such a good
nice.
panel.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's a good chapter. I wonder what Kuguri is gonna do. Kuguri, because he's like, he witnesses what's happening, and he's like just chilling, hiding behind a pillar or whatever. He ain't getting involved, but like he's still in the area, and I'm pretty sure he's got a fucking enchanted blade. So like, I wonder what he's gonna do if not just like bounce.
I don't know if he can use the enchanted blade though, because isn't the sword bearer related to the sword that he has, like still alive with the contract still active?
Maybe. I know he was trying to like get into like a vibe. Like he was trying to like sync up with it. He wanted to like get to know the sword more or whatever. Because he's like super sword net. So
Yeah.
he's not just gonna unsheath the bitch.
I think that's more to the effect of like, yo, when this contract does get broken and it is available to me, I want to spend a bunch of time with it beforehand so that
Yeah.
I'm like ready when it's ready kind of situation.
He want to wine and dine it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in this case, it's like, okay, so he's seeing that shit is hitting the fan, but like, does he try to snag Iori while they're fighting or something? I don't know. I wonder what he's gonna do, because everybody else is kind of hurt. I mean, is the Masumi, they're not too hurt. They look fine.
They're
but
chilling, they're clean. I saw a really cool theory related to the abilities of Toby Mune in relation to like Iori becoming the next wielder of Toby Mune after Samura inevitably dies, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen by the end of this arc. But they were breaking down the abilities as like, okay, Crow allows you to kind of like teleport to the feathers, right? Like you can, that's what he can do with Crow. That's like one application of them, is that he can kind of just like appear where any feather is, right? He can like
yeah, I
teleport from one feather to another if he wants to.
yeah,
And then Owl is like a observation technique that allows them to have vision of like a huge radius of space. or whatever, and then like Suzaku obviously is a healing technique. So in the hands of someone like Iori, who's not like an aggressive like you know like aggro combatant like Samura or whatever, like she could be like more of a support, and it's like totally like already set up for like a support kind of fighting style, because you can see the whole battlefield, see whoever gets hurt, teleport immediately to them with Crow, and then heal them with Suzaku type shit. So if Yori does end up getting Toby Mune, then that could be like a cool like new application of all of the abilities for a completely different fighting style than Samura's more like aggro cut you down approach.
Yeah. I do wonder, like I don't remember if it was ever shown or stated, like if he could with that sword, if someone else could swap, like if he could swap someone's place. It's kind of like Boogie Woogie, like if
Oh man.
yeah, so it's like if she could, make it so that, someone like Chihiro swapped with a feather or something, that'd
That
be
would
kind of
be
crazy
kind of
too.
crazy, bruh.
Yeah, or if it's just like she's got to be holding them, like, hold my hand and then we fucking whoop out of here type
Yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with that, and if she becomes, the next wielder. That'd be dope. I'd be after this arc, I think I'd be down with it. But yeah, like, just how the fuck do we kill Samura? Like, dude got
Um,
stabbed 32 times through the body. Like,
yeah,
what is this?
maybe there is a limit to like, you know, um wounds healed by Suzaku. Maybe it's not, maybe it's something that takes like energy, to a certain degree, and he has like, a finite amount of it that it's going to get
Yeah,
expended throughout the rest of the fight. And Hirohiko's going to catch him, in that moment where he kind of like doesn't have the resources to heal anymore, and then deal the final blow or whatever.
yeah. Could be like he just kind of runs out of mana type of deal. I wonder
Hmm.
if he's gonna show his like, because every sword has the three abilities like they said, but there's also this like true realm type of deal. So I wonder if he's gonna show like a next level, something further with the sword. Because like Chihiro kind of tapped into it earlier, like in like chapter 10 or something, and it was when he like went into that room and they were talking about the transcending the true realm or whatever, and Shihiro walked into the room with like 30 dudes, and that was when he said like Kuro shred, and he hasn't done that. I think he did that recently, like maybe 1 or 2 chapters ago, but other than that he's only done that like once, and it was like he summoned like 40 goldfish and they just like chopped the room up or whatever.
Yeah,
They cut up like a bunch of dudes.
I don't think that the true realm, like aspect is something that will like suddenly create like a next level like fourth ability or anything like that. I think it's just in regard to your perception of the abilities at hand, and different applications that you can kind of use like with the abilities that you already have. I think is what the transcends the true realm that transcends theory thing is like all about. So like we'll see like the same ability, but just a different application of it that we didn't know was possible, because it's all perception based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, we got another bit of a three-way battle here: Chihiro and fucking Samura and Yuriko, and everybody kind of wants each other. So
Yeah.
can't wait to see, where they go with this. And like, yeah, like everyone wants to kill each other here. So I have no fucking idea how this happened. Like, could Chihiro and Hirohiko? I don't see a world where they're like both teaming up to fight him.
Right. Oh, here's a visual detail that I kind of like didn't notice. So on page 12, the panel where Samura is getting ran through by like 9 different swords, one of those swords seems to be running into Iori's scabbard, and like is kind of like cutting through it to a certain degree. So she's like low key like blocking one of the blades that just stabbed her dad through the gut. Do you see that? I don't know if that's like on
Uh,
purpose or what, but like you can see that some of the sheath is like overlapping the blade of the sword, like on its way to Iori that Samura stepped in front of. So not only did they like kind of like they obviously stabbed through Samura a million times, but one of these swords is like close enough to actually like run into the sheath of Iori. So he really like stopped some shit that was about to fuck her up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like is kind of like what that's the point, that's kind of like selling, if that wasn't intentional. visual detail in the art.
Yeah, she was definitely about to get cooked.
Yeah. Huh.
But Daddy saves the day. It's
Yeah.
Daddy stuff. But
Big Daddy shit.
yeah, beautiful chapter. Obviously, the fucking final page. That's enough out of you. Just crazy aura.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking for a moment, like when I was reading this, I just completely forgot that these were feathers, and I'm thinking that they're like bats, and I'm like, damn,
Oh.
this nigga he did the Batman thing for real. Like this is a wild chapter.
This isn't the first time that Hokuzono has drawn a panel like this. Like we got a splash page like a few arcs ago where Chihiro was like drawn in this like exact same aesthetic with like all black background and like the gray like lighting and like even like these cross hatchy shading effects
Yeah,
on the yeah.
there was that double page where he like chopped here he goes like arm off, and it looked like this, like it was
Oh yeah.
kind of hard to follow. It was a double page that was just straight pitch black and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fire. But yeah, I think Spence on this chapter. You got anything else for this one?
No, I'm good too.
Okay, that's gonna do it for Big Botcher Kagurabachi chapter 76 Banquet. Before we get out of here, we'll talk about our favorite chapters of the week. For me, I guess, I mean, it's not as easy, but I'll just go ahead and say Kagurabachi. Just make it easy. It's a cheat code at this point because Kagurabachi
Honestly,
is always a banger.
how do you not
Like,
say Kagurabachi this week? It's like, fuck, man. We almost have to have this segment dedicated to, like, besides Kagurabachi, what's your favorite chapter of the week? Because it's like, man, everything else is, like, so good still. But these other series are going to have to do a lot in order to compete with Kagurabachi chapters currently and what it's doing in the story right now.
yeah, I mean, there were bangers. Ranger Reject was a banger, and Gachi was a banger. Centuria was really good. There was a lot of good stuff, but just like
Yeah,
that, them final pages of that Kagurabachi chapter, it's like, you
different.
got it, man.
It's different.
Yeah,
I think Ranger gets second place though for me this week.
yeah, it was really good,
Hmm.
and just can't wait to see what happens next and everything because it was good chapters. Nothing was bad besides Buttstroke Royale, but it
I
is what
thought
it
you were going
is
to
though.
give that chapter of the week. You wanted to give a whole hour dedicated to the send off of that that fucking
Yeah, yeah,
dog shit series, bro. But no,
yeah.
actually, you want to know what? Second place is Ichi the Witch for me this week. Actually, I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot everything that went down for a second in Ichi the Witch. Ichi the Witch answered a lot of questions that we had and just had a lot of like really good moments, like magic system wise, and there's just like a lot of like thematic like weight to the chapter. It's definitely second place for me, and then Ranger Reject third.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for chapter of the week. All right, just taking a look at some of the comments that we got on our last episode. Sorry we were late. We had some health and life stuff. So it's been a while since we talked to you guys, but just looking at some of the comments that we had here, looks like a lot of comments about Astro Royale, including some saying it's not that bad and what are you guys going to replace it with and stuff like that. So, you know, um it happened. It's over. So there's no more boogeyman. The chains are broken. We don't have to talk about Astro Royale anymore. So like somebody said, it wasn't that bad. It was that bad,
It was
baby. It's
that bad.
gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's out of there. It's cooked. As far as what we'll replace it with, I think we haven't talked about it, but personally, I think for now, since Jump is jumping back into like a new batch and stuff, I think I'd be down to wait a little bit, especially because Kawaguchi's coming back like next week. The guy who made Red Hood. I don't know if you knew that, Knox,
I
but
did.
he's back next week. So I mean, people were like, "Yeah, you're gonna replace it with Sakamoto days." I'm still personally not like feeling the Sakamoto thing, but like it could happen. But like, I don't know. I'm still feeling like maybe New A's is more likely for me personally, or just something new. Like I think I'd rather wait and see what the new Kawaguchi thing is talking about, and maybe we can do similar to like our first two episodes before we started actually reviewing stuff when we did like Ichi the Witch, Icebreaker, and then we talked about like Shinobi Undercover. Maybe next week if people are feeling it, if Knox and Traffy are down, we can do like even if we don't decide to add it, we can just like talk about the new Kawaguchi manga in Buttstroke Royale's place, just to see what it's hitting on, how we feel about it,
Butt
and do some
stroke.
thought. Yeah, Buttstroke Royale. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. There's other stuff. Like a lot of people are always like, "What about Mad?" And Mad's bi-weekly, and there's some other manga. Like there's some good stuff in like Jump Plus if we wanted to replace and like break the whole like 333 thing. It's possible, but like I don't know. I think either keeping that space free for now while we would decide on something instead of just rushing and going like, yeah, we're gonna do Sakamoto. Like, we'll leave it open, I think, and maybe see what Kawaguchi talking about because I liked Red Hood for what it was. I mean, it wasn't great. It could have been better, but I'm hoping Dude learned a lesson. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, let's see if Kawaguchi locks in. I'm down to definitely leave that slot absent or empty, until we find like a proper replacement for Astro Royale. We definitely don't have to add anything new to the roster immediately. Ultimately, I think it works better if instead of trying to rush to replace Astro Royale just to have, the ninth slot covered as soon as possible. I think it's better if we, assess our options and have conversations about what we're feeling the most or what we're not feeling and just come to like a solid conclusion on exactly what we want to do, even if that takes a few weeks or a couple months or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also possible that Kawaguchi kind of comes out and knocks everyone's socks off, kind of like Kagurabachi and Ichi the Witch did. And I mean, I would love that because Jump. There's some things I'm enjoying in Jump, but this is also like probably right now is probably the period where I'm reading the least amount of things in Jump compared to like in the past years. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I think I'm really only like there's like 5 or 6 things that I am like 80% caught up with, but I just haven't read in like a year. So it's just like I'm really like when Jump comes out on Sundays, I'm really opening the app to read Kagurabachi, Ichi the Witch, Centuria. I haven't read Kyoshi in like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
I
me
think that's
neither.
gonna probably be ending soon. It was good, but I think it's gonna end. I was reading Astro because we had to, but it's gone. And then like maybe one other thing, but other than that, it's like Jump has like 20 manga. It's like I was reading like three, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to having another one that I am truly excited about.
Yeah.
So hopefully Kawaguchi can do that, or hopefully Jump adds something new that does that,
Do we
brings
know what the
that
premise
spark
is
back.
of the new Kawaguchi series? Do we know like what the like the descriptor line or whatever for what it's about?
Not really. There was some like Japanese word, and the word hotel was in the name. Not sure what that fucking means.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's not something stupid like that's like kind of placeholdery axe bait. Like we're bringing you to fill up a slot, and we know you're gonna get axe. I hope
Right.
that like they give it a good shot. But like the main character looked cool. I saw like a leak image of the main character. He looked kind of like a hunter or whatever, kind of similar to Velo from
Uh-oh.
the first one. So I'm hoping that they get that right, and it's not just like buff babes. Hopefully, everyone likes buff babes enough to read the manga because that kind of happened in the first one. But yeah, see, I'm here to see what it's about, and hopefully it lands.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that was comments of the week section. Just turn that into a what's next for the podcast instead of top comments. But yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
Well, that was episode 25 of the Shonen Post podcast. If you made it to the end, you are a true champion, and we appreciate you and love you from the bottom of our hearts. Like I said a couple times, sorry that we were late and that we missed a week or whatever. Hopefully we'll be back on schedule for the upcoming weeks going forward. We just, life be lifing. Y'all know how it be. But as usual, belly flop the like button, dick punch the subscribe button, stop, drop, and roll in the comment section, lick the share button, do all the good stuff. Share with your homies. Let us know what your thoughts down below. Make sure you let Knox know that no one's watched the fucking Mummy.
What the fuck?
Make sure you do all the good things, and we'll catch you on the next one. Of course, that was it. Holla holla.
Goodbye.